can we talk about this Scout?
Yeah.
Because is it me or is that a Rivian? Hello and welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. I am Matt Farah and today's episode is, as always, brought to you by Off the Record. We love Off the Record here at the Smoking Tire because they are in it for you. They're looking out for you. If you make a little boo-boo on the highway, or maybe a very big boo-boo on the highway, you're going to need good representation. And if you're somewhere outside of your normal comfort zone, you may have trouble finding it. That's where Off the Record comes in. They set you up with a qualified attorney where you got pulled over in order to fight that ticket on your behalf and keep those points off of your record. All you have to do is go to offtherecord.com/TST or use code TST Pod on the Off the Record app. Just download that app, have it handy in your phone. It makes using Off the Record even easier and more seamless than if you do it on the web. I have used it many, many times, and they have kept me motoring on points free. It is the best. Go to offtherecord.com/TST or use code TST Pod on the Off the Record app to get 10% off all legal services booked through Off the Record. All right, it's going to be one of those, folks. Look at that timestamp. We've got 2 hours and 40 minutes of 40-something Jews drinking bourbon and screaming each other. That's right, Jonny Lieberman is on the podcast, and we've got a tasting to get through. It's the Smoking Tire.
Like my first experience ever to people that do the Ferrari Challenge was years ago. I was talking to this guy, and I had just driven like a GT3 for the first time. It was probably like 2008, something like that. And I remember I was talking to this guy, and whatever the Ferrari Challenge car at the time was, in my brain, there's no way it could have been as good as the GT3 RS or whatever it was I just drove. It might have been. Yeah, it was like the 997.1 GT3 RS.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing car. Boggling, just so good. And I said, well, you ever thought about racing Porsches? And the guy literally looked at me, he's like, no, I race Ferraris. And I was like,
I mean, you know how people like sponsor a race car in order to get season passes to the to everything? People race Ferrari Challenge in order to have a photo to hang on their wall with them and their suit and their Ferrari race car.
I get it.
You
I
know
totally
what
get
it costs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like literally, like you could do Lamborghini Super Trofeo, which is admittedly one continent, less races, same experience.
Yeah.
For like $500,000.
Yeah.
Challenge is like 10
It's
million
not
a season.
that. They get to tell other people.
Yeah.
I am a professional Ferrari race car driver.
Yeah.
That's what you're buying.
Right. No,
that
I get
business card.
Yeah.
And by the way, the cars probably drive pretty nice.
Oh, I guarantee they do. Yeah.
But still, it's the photo on the wall. Is that you in the red suit with the Ferrari race car? Yeah, it is.
We have a mutual friend who, let's say, at some point in time, was a Ferrari Challenge instructor. Mm-hmm. And the stories he has told me about the terror.
Yeah. I've seen some of the videos. It's wild stuff.
I went to the race. It's nuts. I mean, these guys don't care. They'll ball up whatever it costs, $500,000 car, $300,000.
Yeah, I mean, if you most of the people who race the cheap endurance racing series, which you just did one, and I want to talk about it, and I've done a few, and like. That's expensive for a regular person.
It's insanity. It's so much.
To race a crappy car.
Yeah,
but there are people that are like our skill level and below.
Much below.
And a lot below. Who go to who just jump into these super fast, race cars.
Well, I remember
it can be
years ago, the first high performance driving thing I ever did. It was Jacques Villeneuve's kid. Rene Villeneuve was the instructor. It was Skip Barber, but it was in Vegas for some reason. I think they were redoing Laguna Seca, but he was. Long story short, there was me and another dude who owned a bank. Okay, he owned a bank in off the coast of Venezuela, and he had some money. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to start with anything.
Yeah,
to own a bank.
To own a bank is good.
Yeah. What do you want to do for a living? I want to be an architect. You should start by owning a bank. Yeah. That'll fund your architecture school.
And so I was taking to the lessons better than this gentleman who had his own bank was.
Yeah.
And I was talking with the instructor, and he said, he goes, in my experience, the more successful a man is, the more impossible it is to coach him. He's like, I had Ronnie Lott, couldn't teach him a damn thing.
Sure.
You know, he had 3 Super Bowl rings, but I couldn't teach him anything.
Well, I mean, especially people who, believe that they got somewhere through some kind of like meritocracy and or natural talent, like an athlete.
Yeah. So and then I said, well, who's the best? And he said, women. Any woman is the best student possible because they just listen to what you say and then do it.
Same thing with sporting clays and shooting.
Oh, really?
The shooting instructors will be like, yes, bring your wife, bring your daughter, bring your girlfriend. They will be very good at this because they'll actually listen to me.
Right.
And they're almost
all
always
guys
right.
think they're not. I mean, I remember the first time I shot a handgun at a range. Like, it made me rethink every movie I'd ever watched because, like, you can't hit a barn.
Right. Yeah.
They're so inaccurate.
And when you watch a movie, you go, how come we can't hit that guy with one hand? And then you shoot with one hand and 7 yards.
Like, you know what I mean? So
but
shooting guns is tough.
Women are better students than men, typically.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
And have less ego. They're more okay saying, I'm coming from a point of 0 here.
Yeah.
Whereas men are like, yeah, of course I've done this
Like,
before.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Well, this was like 20 years ago. It was like when I was first starting out my career. I was like, I better take like a class on how to drive if I'm going to like review a Porsche and have a thought in my head. So I was just like, teach me everything because I know nothing. You know,
that's a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, I wish I could go back to that.
Or a lot of
I was going to say.
Yeah, I've got
that one weekend.
To my credit, I did a whole bunch of
My Humble Weekend.
Yeah,
Jonny
my one.
My weekend spent admitting I don't know everything.
Hey, good to see you two motherfuckers.
Yeah, what do you think about this Bunnahabhain Iric Nagrain limited edition release?
It tastes like Scotch.
Does taste like
the name sounds Scotch.
Scotch flavored Scotch.
A product of Scotland.
Ooh.
And
did you get it in Scotland?
No.
Oh.
Someone has abandoned it here, and I finished it.
It's
that
good.
was the end of it.
It's quite peaty.
This was the stuff. Oh. I drank in Scotland, and I asked if you could pronounce that, and you said, "Is it like the '60s Batman theme song, Banana?" Which it kind of is now.
Bunnahabhain, something like that.
Bunnahabhain.
Actually, it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious.
It's good.
It's great.
And my gut tells me that bottle was expensive.
My gut tells me it's very tasty. I just went to the. So the Macallan has a villa in Beverly Hills, and I went to the 200th anniversary birthday celebration there. And
they wheel out like a fucking bottle in a wheelchair.
No, even crazier. You know what they had? They had a multimedia room, and you go in there, and it's an 18-minute. This is at a drinking party. 18-minute video of like I can't explain it. There was like shit being projected on the wall in front of you, on the sides, and on the roof, and it was all meant to do that.
Yeah.
Of the story of Macallan, a 200-year story.
Okay. It's 18 minutes. Couldn't cut this thing down to 7 1/4.
Well, the thing is, I was on my 3rd drink when I went in there, and it was kind of fascinating. It
wasn't called like Insta Spins.
You would think.
If you had 6 drinks, that would be a different type of movie.
Well, I did have 6 drinks, but it was great. They had they had a bottle of what do they call it? Time Space. So Time Space is the oldest shit they could find, which was 84 years old. Uh-huh. Plus, they built a new distillery in 2018, so the newest shit that was any good.
Okay.
So it was a mix of 84 and 5-year.
Interesting.
And it's $200,000 a bottle, and there's 200 bottles. And we didn't have that.
You didn't taste?
That one we didn't, because, they're not going to open that. But, because it was like booze journalists who make car journalists look like scholars.
Right.
Like Stetcher was there to give you an idea.
In order of... should we rank journalists?
Love Nick.
Not an individual level. On a topics they cover level. Like I think watch journalists are the highest level of snoot. In terms of really they deeply give a fuck about parts that all can barely be seen with the naked eye.
And you don't interact with them. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Like the part, do you feel the difference? Probably not.
No, you do not. Ultimately, does it tell time? Yes.
I might need a day or so to think about this because I've also met architecture journalists who are so up their own backsides and like their opinion of a building. Like, I guess most people think, oh, you have an opinion of a fucking car, like the same way.
I think anyone who has opinions about a specific area is going to be up their own ass in their own way. But I suppose but when I read about cars, it just seems like a car or a building. Or other things like boats or whatever. There's
boat journalism. Boat journalism. What a scam! What a scam!
It floated well.
Yeah, no one's ever written a bad review about a boat that stayed on the surface.
No sinking.
Yeah,
even the Titan submersible, not bad. Started off well.
Yeah,
almost.
It was good until the end.
It was good. Yeah, tough closing.
You can replace the controller yourself,
but the watch ones are really tough. Because I mean, can you imagine
No. I've written about watches. It's hard.
2,500 words on a watch. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I wrote a story for Hodinkee, and it was really well received. I will say that, I was shocked by the positive response.
Yeah.
But they were like, when we started talking, maybe you should do more. I'm like, I'm done, man.
Yeah.
I actually tried to get into some booze journalism.
Same.
I'm just like, I
don't want to ruin this hobby too.
Yeah, I mean, when you decided to write about cars, you did have to get serious to okay, I got to have an opinion about the exterior, the interior, the tech, the engine, the transmission, the suspension, overall thing, where it fits in the market, the competitive set. Pricing, you have to actually have real, you know what I mean? It's not just I like Lamborghini. Cause, that's all I really wanted to do.
Yeah. It goes fast.
Yeah. And so then with booze, it's also it's do I want to be actually, this is an overpriced piece of shit? Because, maybe I'm going to meet the distiller and, it's not in cars, at least you're set up, it's layered, there's public relations.
Yeah. It's a nameless, faceless corporation.
So I don't know. Yeah. It just seemed oh boy, this is going to take a lot. This is a lot of rebuilding.
Right.
Well, and then with alcohol, is everything even more subjective than cars? Because you don't how do you compare? Because it's your flavor, your taste buds to another person's taste bud. That seems a little bit more challenging.
It's also weird, and then you also get into levels the dudes that I hang out with that are serious about booze. The idea of putting ice into a treasure is literally putting ice on a piece of steak. It's just what? Why would you ruin it?
Yeah.
So then it's I don't know. But then some, you have cheap booze that needs ice because otherwise you might taste it. And I don't know. So it's, as he reaches for his Bang Energy.
Where did you get that?
At the
gas station.
At the Chevron.
I've never seen Bang Energy.
Never?
Before.
Oh,
You've been around for a long time, dude.
No.
Oh, didn't that CEO go to prison for Me Too or some horrible thing?
I'm probably surprised.
I'm probably going to get your podcast.
It looks like a
that
turbo.
Might be
it kind of looks
Bang
like
Bros.
Is it a gun sight or
is
a
that
turbo?
Bang Bus?
I don't.
Is it Bang Bus?
It's not Bang Bus.
Well, I'm saying that CEO might have gone
but
to jail.
It does have Ultra Cock 10.
Ultra CoQ10.
It's it's vitamins, creatine, and 300 milligrams of caffeine.
I think it says 18 and older on it
Get
somewhere.
it done.
So it's
18 or older.
Yeah. I think it does. No, but there was a whole thing for a while where all these before OnlyFans, the OnlyFans girls were posting sexy pictures with Bang Energy. And during the pandemic, we were just drinking this by the case at work. So
okay,
yeah, 18 plus recommended.
Oh, recommended. Cover our asses here, boys.
If I was in high school, I'd be mainlining this.
You have got to see the photo of this guy.
Is this the CEO of Bang Energy?
How many times have I ever seen
Oh
that
my
in my life?
God! You've got to get
it's
the
Vince
fuck
McMahon.
out
Look
of
at
here,
that,
dude. It does. Imagine Vince McMahon
with no steroids.
Yeah, but he just got back from an ashram, but has decided to promote boxing matches.
Yeah, the guy's got a medallion on, in the Bang Energy shape, but it looks like a Bitcoin
when he
medallion.
was born, his hair was never that dark.
It's like he robbed Mr. T.
Look at the first paragraph of this. Vital Pharmaceuticals, the owner of Bang Energy, has announced its former CEO and, quote, chief science officer, Jack Owak, is no longer serving in either role or as a member of its board.
Florida headquarters, you know it, baby.
Oh, dude. Wait,
Yeah.
so he's not only not the CEO, but he's no longer the chief science
they had to
officer.
get a new science officer.
Bro, but his lab coat was so fire. That's crazy. crazy.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I hope that's working out.
Oh,
I'm going
it's
to try
great.
the next one, which is Middleton Very Rare Vintage Release Irish Whiskey 2019.
Oh, I like Irish whiskey. You know, I'll tell you something.
This is called Finish All the Open Bottles in My Locker.
I'll tell you something interesting. So before World War II, most whiskey consumed in Europe and elsewhere was Irish.
Okay.
And then World War II breaks out. And Scotland was sort of like this backwater. Nobody drank Scotch. It was flavored weird, had peat and blah, blah, blah. And then Ireland, you know, they were not a member of the Allies. They kind of sided with the Germans because they hated the English so much. And they're like, anyone who's attacking England. And so after the war, like the Irish industry collapsed because nobody would buy it. And Scotch became like the whiskey of choice for the continent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So lately, there's been a big resurgence in Irish distilling,
whiskey?
and it's every
Dude, taste this, because am I insane, or is that fucking delicious?
oh, it's quite good.
That's really good.
Now that
All right, let me do a little.
All right, Zach, you should
Give me
try
a
some
mi-
of
a
this.
minute.
that's super good.
That has got a lot of vanilla happening.
I was going to say, I wonder if it's
That's good.
aged in bourbon barrels because
maybe.
it's super sweet. Unlike
I can't.
here, let me.
I can't. It's the font is too goddamn small.
Oh my God.
My progressive glasses are coming this weekend.
You mean your bifocals?
Yes, I'm very excited. I'm going to start podcasting with glasses on. I'm going to look real smart.
That's good.
They're multifocals.
That is so good.
County Cork, so it's down south. That's
I'm going
good.
to pour some bang in it. I just want to see Johnny get mad.
Hypnotic and Hennessy. Let's go.
Oh, I don't care if it's not bourbon. Do whatever the hell you want. Maybe it needs ice. No, I don't know. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. It's 40 proof too. That's or 40%, 80 proof.
Mellow. It's not.
It's great.
Zach's got a little cap full of the water happening.
Not full, just a couple
No,
drops.
look at a little cap.
Okay.
We can get one of them little glass droppers.
There we go.
If we want to keep it.
Fucking.
I have one
this is
at
great. I mean,
home.
again, like because remember before it was you had Jameson,
Yeah.
and that was Protestant whiskey, so that's from Northern Ireland, and if you're lucky, you could get like John Power. Certain bars in New York, they wouldn't drink that prod shit; they'd have the Catholic whiskey, so you get like John Power, which is good, but it
Yeah.
tastes just like Jameson.
Wow.
But this is really
That's very
delicious,
nice.
and also look at the color of it. I mean, you can tell there's
It's
some
golden.
age. Yeah,
Golden.
and if you
Very
look
nice.
at like Jameson, it ain't that color.
You know what I have at home? Someone gave me as a gift. Jameson 18 year.
How's that?
Not bad.
Okay.
It's like on the level of the
Yeah.
higher end good shit. It was
Look,
nice.
Gentleman
yeah.
Jack is
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels,
Yeah.
but Gentleman Jack is real good.
Well, Zach, what do you think? Nice? You try it? It's good. Okay, we have things that I want to talk about.
Yes.
Where do we start? We could start with the Scout.
Scout's good.
We could start with the Pagani Utopia, which we both driven.
Yes, let's start with that.
The Utopia.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, got to take a quick break. The holiday season is coming up, and now it's time that you think about the Smoking Tire's longest running sponsor. You know him. I love him. Dylan Optics sunglasses made right here in the USA, Arizona. They are the best. I've been wearing these things since 2010. I wore them before they paid me to. Literally, McConaughey gets that line, but I lived it first. I bought a pair of Dylan Optics. They saw me wearing the Dylan Optics. I love them so much, and they said, hey, we're a new company, and we want to sponsor your channel. 2010. We're looking at almost 15 years later. Dylan is still here. They are always expanding styles and offerings. They've got over 10 different frame styles and then all the different colored lenses. You can make a totally unique pair of sunglasses. You'll never see another one like it out in the crowd. And if you go to thesmokingtire.com on the partners page and click on that Dylan banner, we'll give you a free TST t-shirt for ordering a pair of sunglasses. Holidays are coming up. Get a pair for the one you love. Get them a gift certificate. Let them customize them themselves. They make awesome gifts because they're awesome glasses. Everywhere I go, people are like, are those fogged up? I'm like, no, they're just more awesome. And then I let people try them on. They can't believe you can see through them because of the matte finish, and then you can. And then they're like, oh my God, this glass is so good. So get them through our website, thesmokingtire.com, in the partners tab, and we'll send you a free t-shirt as a little token of our appreciation. And before we get back to the action, we have a new collaboration coming. I love doing collabs with people who make really good stuff. And I love a good pen, and I love the tactile turn pens. Found them a couple years ago, started buying pens. And after we did the watch thing with Notice, it was like, hey, can we make a smoking tire pen? And we did, and it sold out very quickly. So we're making another one, new color, new fun, fidgety, clicky mechanism you can annoy your coworkers with. We don't have the actual item to share just yet, but it's going to be for patrons only. So if you're interested in that, you must be a TST patron, which you do at patreon.com/The Smoking Tire Podcast. And now, back to the program.
Had a day with Paris.
Yeah.
Had a day with Paris.
First of all, Paris is awesome.
Yeah, I like Paris a lot.
He's a good dude.
Shout out to Paris Mullins or
Mullen.
I don't know if there's an S at the end.
Hang on.
Paris
I
Mullins,
learned this trick.
Pagani's in-house racing driver.
I learned this trick. You let people enter their name into your phone. Yeah. And it works two ways. If you don't remember their first name,
right,
you say, hey, man, give me your number. And then it's the old Tom Sawyer trick. But also, it tends to be spelled right. And I don't have it for some reason.
So we drove the same car 2 days in a row. I farted in it first.
Mullins.
And we had a baby. I had a bunch of fucking babysitters. Did you have a bunch of babysitters?
Yeah, we were followed around by a cleaning crew.
Caravan.
And a a mirror crew. The mirror was...
the driver's side mirror was a little
It wasn't
wonky.
me or you. Another journalist apparently grabbed the mirror and manually adjusted it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't touch
and
things.
that ruined the mirror. And
Sure.
it does need to go home to Italy, but a ball of duct tape inside the mirror also kind of helps it.
But I'll tell you what, I like the visibility of those mirrors. They're actually a pretty good setup.
If you go to my Insta, I have two good pictures of the Utopia where it's not in that horrible cream color from the launch.
I have I have basically the same photos of the same car.
photo.
We'll go to yours. This one was not a manual, which was disappointing. They didn't tell me that before it went out.
I asked, and they were like, the manual is doing the Reduto in Italy right now.
Yeah, they said next year.
Paris told me, I shouldn't say Paris, somebody there told me that the manual's also like not really working quite yet. So it's a lot of torque for a manual to process. So they're still working that out.
Yeah, if they use a version of the Ricardo from the Ford GT,
it should be
just
fine.
Yeah,
right.
But
I think it doesn't fit. I think that's part of the problem with the Utopia is it's so light, it's so well packaged. Because that X-Track transmission, for as drunk as it feels around town, it's tiny and weighs like 100 pounds. Because like this, the only time I've ever seen a Pagani weighed was the Roadster BC, and it was under 3,000 pounds. And so this was a hardtop, probably weighs the same.
Car and Driver weighed it also, and they did not get under 3,000.
The Roadster BC, what'd they get?
3065.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's
what I'm saying.
that's
It
right
wasn't.
there. Yeah.
But Pagani tried to say to me that this was 2,800 pounds, which was a dry weight.
Yeah. Well, that's very Italian.
Were you saying Roadster BC was under 3,000?
I heard. Somebody told me they weighed it at Spa.
It wasn't,
but it probably didn't have gas in it, and so it's probably. They told me it was like 29.65.
They might have weighed it dry, but
a lot of gas.
Both. I talked to
3,600,
Corolla because after they told me 2,800, I was like, Tony, have you weighed any Pagani?
Right.
And he said we weighed the Wyra BC Roadster. It was 3065.
But look,
and then Jethro said they weighed it at Top Gear, and it was the same.
Okay, so if you put a roof on it, that probably does save like 70, 80, 90 pounds because Roadster's going to be a little heavier.
Maybe.
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Did you say you weighed a coupe? Motorstrom weighed a coupe?
No one I know weighed it. My friend who was there when they were testing it, just for insurance reasons or whatever, he said they weighed one, and he said he was shocked that it was under 3,000 pounds. He was like, well, they're telling the truth. So
this one, the in-person people, I mean, it doesn't really matter because on the website it says like 2880 something is dry weight. Right. Like on Pagani.com.
Again, that's why Motor Trend and Car and Drive, that's why we weigh the cars. We do it with a full tank of gas.
Yeah.
Where they don't technically now they do with the EU. You are supposed to include that weight. Plus a lot of other weird weights, but also 3,000 pounds is really light.
No, it's fucking light.
It's light and powerful.
But there's a pretty hard line between 3,100 and 2,850.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to have a fucking shifter made of billet and a steering wheel made of billet and end up at 2,800 pounds.
But I'm just going to say, going from 28 to 3 is not a big. I mean, that's like having a passenger.
It doesn't. It's not a huge difference, but like,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It drives. It doesn't drive like it's 500 pounds lighter than a 750.
No, it's probably the same weight as a 750.
It's probably give or take about the same.
The 750 is just around.
Yeah. Again, all fine.
Right.
It's just that they, whatever.
So, what's your take?
What Pagani's people told me, and I thought was incredibly on point, was that their customers want cars that look like race cars but ultimately drive like GT cars.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why
fair.
the power band is what it is. That's why they'll save weight here to do something that adds tactile feel in the interior here. That's why they don't make an engine that revs to 9, but instead makes a good mid-range punch.
Well, I mean, or they just have one engine supplier and it can't rev to 9. Yeah,
right. Yeah. But like, if Pagani wanted to choose another engine that revved higher and did that, they could do that.
Yeah, I mean, they put that HWA motor in the Wire R, which does rev to like whatever 9.
Right.
But they
said their customers don't want that. They said their customers want to do the Radunos, and the Radunos are road trips.
I've been on the Raduno.
Yeah.
The customers totally want to do the Raduno.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. And you know what? Their customers also have Lambo V12s.
Yeah.
And they have Bugatti 16s, and they have everything they want.
Yeah.
I was just impressed. To me, my point was that, like, okay, they're going to make 199 of these of coupes, 120. So it's the same 200, 300 dudes that are just buying the cars again and again and again. They're now 10 years older. This is what somebody who bought a Wyra 10 years ago, who's now aged a little bit, this is what they would want.
Yeah.
It's a little more mature inside. It's a little bit wider inside.
Yeah.
You're a little bit wider outside.
Yeah.
And it's I was just blown away. I really like the boy racerness of some of the, especially some of like the Imola Wyras and like some of the really crazy ones, I feel is gone. Now they might show up in subsequent special editions, but we saw a horse. With the exception of and we've got this kid. Oh, this is a great story. Shit. Oh, this is such a good story. Thumb this for a second. This is good. That's Nick, who works at Soho Malibu, and I'll get to this. But you said it best. You said it's really good. It's as much fun as you can have in a car with that type of transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that the transmission for what it is isn't bad.
No, not at all.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not ideal. It's not what I'd buy.
I would love the manual.
Yeah.
And the manual is going to be 70 to 80% of the take rate. So Paris did say they're planning to bring a manual, and everybody who drove the automatic can then get a crack at the manual.
Drove the automatic and didn't damage it.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that, too.
I didn't damage it.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, I heard about,
somebody damaged it.
The guy.
But I actually found what was crazy about it is how quickly I was able to stop thinking about the fact that I was driving like a $3.5 million car.
Oh, instantly.
Like almost right away. It was not taxing to drive or
that's what I meant.
tiring.
It's perfect for the dude who has, 2 Zondas and 3 Wyras and wants a new Pagani because he loves the brand.
Yeah.
And, like, he doesn't need a.
It's a crazy thing that, like, all of these people at that level, the 7-figure cars, it's never either or. Everyone on the internet, it's either or.
Right.
We're bench racing.
Yeah.
We're whatever.
Number of cylinders.
Yeah. But, or like Doug would do the fucking market cap or whatever. But for the people that are actually in this market, it's not either or. It's and.
Oh.
And.
Look,
and.
My friend Salman in Florida, and I'm sure, I don't think he'd mind me saying this because he's very public on Instagram about what he owns, but, he's got a Wyra, he's got one of these on order, he's got a Bugatti Pure Sport, he's got 4 Lamborghinis I can think of, including a Storado and an STO and SVJ, and so and he loves them all, and he will make these, he makes these videos about the great parts of all of them. Which, look, those are all good cars. They're great cars. I've driven them. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
This photo, though, this is funny.
This dude at Soho House in Malibu.
So the day before me and Misha Mansour went off-roading in the electric G-Wagon. And it's killer.
Okay.
And
electric off-roading is fun. I would anticipate.
And even though it's on the street tires, it was shockingly. I say this as a Rivian stan. It was shockingly good off-road. Like I was like, fuck, like this is really good. And we went up, rock crawling. Really, we went up rower flats, and we went all the really difficult routes. You can always pick 3.
Yeah, the hardest of the 3.
I was like, let's just. And we got stuck, not stuck, but we couldn't proceed one time, and that was someplace where like off-road tires that were deflated would have helped.
Yeah.
So back down. No problem. Made it up. Going down. Half mile from the trailhead, flat tire. Like just blew the sidewall out. All the launch edition Gs. They don't have a spare tire. They have that stupid square thing on the back that has the charging cable in it. Yeah. So I like
one time.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Yeah. And I brought all my off-road gear. I have an off-road jack, and I'm like, there's no spare tire. I don't need that. Anyways, I limp it, I ruined the wheel getting it up to the trailhead, and I'm like, fuck, and I call Mercedes. I'm like, I am so sorry, but you didn't put a spare on here. Like, I would have done a trail change. And they're like, okay, we'll take care of it.
So you went up the steep side.
Yeah.
And
we're done.
You're at the top.
No, we're at the bottom. We've gone down the hill
you
on
went
the backside.
Up and then down the long way.
The long way
that
down.
ends on Bouquet Canyon Road.
No, even longer. It goes all the way back around to the original trailhead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's just a flat, wide open.
It takes like an hour and a half to get down.
It takes forever.
Yeah.
And we're, talking to Misha, having a great time.
Yeah, yeah.
And just rock on, it was the right rear, passenger side tire, just carved the sidewall. And
so you fucking rode on the rim
for like a half mile,
for
destroyed
a half mile.
it at 5 miles an hour, but it weighs 9 billion pounds. So, And they were like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry. We should
ask
see you
for the rim." That would be a fun one to do a coffee table on.
I will ask them.
It's not savable, right? You just wrecked
There's
it.
no way.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I didn't even have the heart to take a picture. I was like,
no.
So, anyways, these 2 kids are riding around on these electric motorcycles, and they're like, "Whoa, you have a G-Wagon out here? Like, that's crazy." And start talking to them. I'm trying to figure out a plan with Mercedes. And eventually, it's like, don't worry, we'll send some guys up. We see where I send them like a Google pin where it is, and blah blah blah. We'll put a new tire, bring it to your house. Don't worry about it. So my wife's like, hey, I can come pick you up.
Bring it to your house. Okay.
They're gonna go there, put a tire on it, and then drop it off at my house.
Oh, so you're gonna abandon the car?
Had to abandon. They left it overnight because it's a camping.
Yeah.
It's open 24/7. So. We asked these kids because
inside the campground. Okay, I'm thinking full side of the road.
No.
Okay.
I mean, it was basically full side of the road,
full side of the dirt road.
These kids had a Ford Ranger, and we're like, "Hey, if you take us to the In-N-Out, where my wife's going to come get us, I'll buy you dinner." And so we start talking to them. They both work at Soho Malibu.
Oh, nice. Valets?
No, they're like barbacks type thing.
Cool. All right.
And this was, the day before. It was a Wednesday because I drove on a Thursday. And they're like, dude, if you're ever at Soho, you're on the blue list. Just, you're in, And me and Misha are like, cool.
Dude, you get a Soho House membership for the price of a fucking double with
double.
animal style.
They didn't want animal style.
Crazy.
Like, this guy got a 3x2.
That's crazy.
To be fair, it cost me like $7 instead of $5.
Yeah.
So I roll up. I'm like, yo, it's Nick and the other guy's name is Matt. I'm like, Nick and Matt here, and they're like, no, Matt's off today. Nick's here. It's a Nick. He just starts losing his mind because they get good cars there, but they don't get Utopias.
Yeah.
So we sent that picture to Matt, and he was just
you got 999% off a Soho House membership.
You know that the Malibu one is a different price than the rest of Soho. Like if you're
more
a Soho,
or less.
If you're a Soho member, you can't go to Malibu.
Really?
You got to pay extra for Malibu.
What if you're a Malibu member? You can go to the other ones.
Yes, you can go the other way
because
it costs more. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you told me he was valet, I'd be like, let me get the resume because that seems like a good place to pull people from. It's a shit show out there on the weekends.
Yeah, he's not valet.
Yeah.
But great guy. Great guy. We love Nick. He's very, very cool guy. Anyways, Utopia, good car.
I'm glad you have a picture of it. Go back. So it has the paddle shifters are that rocker thing that McLaren does.
Yeah,
where you go up
the
and down.
101.
Except Pagani put this fucking Terminator 2 project on top of the steering wheel. That is the spring mechanism
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
So you can actually watch it do things, which is
They're big on exposing linkage. And
yeah,
it looks
you
super
should
cool.
see how much they saved weight on. They milled out the brake calipers only to put like extraneous fucking James Cameron hardware
it's all
on the
about
steering.
offsetting.
But what's cool is one cool thing about those connected paddles is you can up or down with one hand.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah, it was great when McLaren did it in 2010.
Yeah.
It's still great. It's
great.
a great idea.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's there. That is this. We're looking at a photo on Johnny's Instagram of the gauge panel, the dashboard, and like that is such a good example of like how to make a car timeless.
Yep.
Like that car will not age the same way a car with a big screen
That could be in a
would.
sci-fi movie from the future or
well, that could
from
also
the
be
past.
from 1927.
Right,
Yeah.
Does it reflect sun into your eyeballs?
No. It's
All
really
right.
well. It's everything's really well done.
No, except there is some, in this particular example, some white leather on the dash upper that does reflect.
But that's like European only. You couldn't sell that here or something.
Yeah. You have to sign a waiver.
Oh, is that what
they
it
said
is?
you have to sign a Yeah, they said if you want a light colored dash, you have to sign a waiver because it reflects in the Corvettes. The worst, the C8s. Oh, that
The white
white dash.
Well, don't get a white
What a
dash.
fucking disaster that is.
The only thing I would change, except for the transmission on this, is the glass panels in the doors above your head because it's gull-wing doors. And I just don't need that little strip of glass.
Yeah.
And that's a minor thing. I'm sure.
You can get it without.
I'm sure you can.
You could definitely get it
Yeah.
without. Yeah, the overhead glass
You
panels.
just, if you're in New York, okay. But out here, it's like, I don't need more
and
sun.
This thing was it's really fast. I mean, it goes like a motherfucker.
The kid in the Volvo tried to drag race us. And I just hadn't done like a red light, on cold tires. And holy cow.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's just a torque monster that weighs nothing and only to the rear wheels, which is unusual these days.
I went up Encinal from PCH at a serious pace. But like, does it look, a 750 is like $380,000.
750 is ridiculous. Yeah,
this isn't faster than that, or if it is, it's
You
not
would never be able to
perceptible
tell. You'd
from
have
the
to measure
driver's
it.
seat.
Yeah.
It's the same level of speed.
Yeah.
But
this has such a better interior.
there's a real handmade quality to the whole thing.
And we got, after Soho House, we had to get it back to Beverly Hills. And so we sat 90 minutes of PCH 10.
Traffic 2 is awful.
It's bullshit. But the car's okay.
Car was fine.
Did the brakes squeak? Okay.
Yes.
Carbon,
But
whatever.
I had a hot day. I had the air conditioning cranked. It was actually fine.
And I was like, this is incredible. Because if you were in a Wyra, like, it gets real cranky.
I never had that chance. I only drove a Wyra very briefly.
They get cranky. I think there's more glue in the interior.
Yeah.
Also, in the dealership, they had a Wyra there, and me and Paris hopped in that, and it's just like you have way more space in the Utopia than the Wyra. It's just, again, it's 10% bigger. It's just a more mature car. And
It's what the fuck did I something what I thought was a little strange about it was in that very same awful traffic jam back from Malibu.
Insanity traffic.
It was terrible.
And Paris even warned me. He's like, Matt and I did this yesterday. It sucks.
It was long, really long,
really bad,
really long. Yeah. But and he was a champ, and it was fine. But and the car was fine, most importantly. But I found that it had a very aggressive delayed creep. When you're sitting in that traffic jam, you take your foot off the gas, you count to 1, and right before you get to 2, the clutches engage, and you get a pretty high aggressive forward creep in a way that is actually pretty tough to modulate.
And so, that's why I was saying the brakes are squeaking, because you're constantly then dragging the brake.
Yeah.
Look, as everyone now knows, the EV industry pays me $10 million a minute to say nice things about EVs. But my favorite thing about EVs is you can turn off creep mode and you can just sit and not move without having to touch the brake.
Yeah.
I love it. All day.
Yeah.
In fact, the G-Wagon, you couldn't. You had to, it has permanent creep mode. There's no way to turn it off.
Can't turn it off?
Here's what they did with the G-Wagon. They said, hey, Mercedes engineers, make an electric G-Wagon. They didn't, there's nothing different. There's just nothing different.
It's literally just a G-Wagon. It's the G-Wagon
Yeah.
You just don't have to put gas in it.
They could have intruded into, let's say, the rear cargo to put more battery. Didn't do it. So range is a little limited, a little less than it could have been. They could have fit more battery. They said, these are the dimensions of the G-Wagon. This is how a G-Wagon behaves. don't do anything.
Yeah.
And I think
this is a funny thing to learn because, you know, their customers, G-Wagon customers, are almost like Harley Davidson customers. Like, we don't want something new. We want you to take the old thing and just make it survive a traffic jam. You know,
and that's what's so funny about G-Wagon customers is they have one of the most capable vehicles in the world. In fact, the electric one very well might be the most capable stock vehicle. Maybe like a Bronco Raptor could, go up a bigger boulder. But I mean, I never got past 10% throttle on every obstacle but one on the hard parts of Rower Flats, which is, rated as a Black Diamond Trail or double black trail.
It's funny how little that trail translates to video. Every time I go up it, people are like...
I put a picture up, a video.
That's hard. It's like... I mean, I don't know about hard, but it's not like nothing.
I purposely did like a step, like it was... I'm doing about an 18-inch step to show what it had gone up. Shot a video of it, and everybody's like, "You see this double black, dude? You're so lame. Fuck you!" And I'm like, and Misha was like, "I can't believe this thing's doing this."
Yeah, for stock.
Yeah. It's wild.
We get it in 2-3 weeks.
You should go off-roading, but demand there's a spare.
I will,
and a good jack. There's no jack in the car either.
Well, there's no spare. What would you need one for?
Well, I was like, maybe I was just looking for, I was bored. We had a lot of time to kill. I was looking for a jack. There's a tire patch kit, but we had like a sidewall gash. So it's not that big.
It's not great.
But an amazing off-road vehicle.
Do you think, just in terms of on-road, do you think the market will want that?
Yeah, I think, L.A., I only think in terms of L.A. and Orange County.
Because they buy the AMGs here.
Well, first of all, this is called the G580, right? So there's the G550, six-cylinder, G580 is electric, G63, which isn't quite out yet, but coming very soon, will be the V8. I think they're saving a spot for, and remember, the G580 is like 1 horsepower more than the G63. So meaning it's like a couple hundred horsepower less than like a Rivian, which is a natural rival, 4-motor EV, luxury, blah, blah. I think they're saving for a G65. And they're going to have an AMG G65, which would be electric, which would be 1,000 horsepower. And I think and they've also said there's a new battery tech coming in like about 14 months. It's going to be lithium sodium, I think it's called, LiSo, and it'll be 20% more range from the same size pack. And I think there's going to be a G65.
Okay,
that's my best guess. So you're 100% right, but I think that if you do what most people in LA do with your G-Wagon, which is kids go to school, you go to Air One and tennis lessons, and you never go on a road trip and you never go off-road, the electric one's perfect.
Yeah, but the funny thing about the G-Wagon is I don't think G-Wagon buyers are buying the car they need from a practical perspective.
100% not. But they are, my buddy Jeff has a G63, and every once in a while I drive it, and it's like, God damn, this thing rules. They're great.
I don't argue. I enjoy driving G63. Yeah. I really do. But the G63 to me doesn't do anything that a G550 doesn't really do.
Not one thing. The other thing the G580 has, which is funny, it's called G-Roar. And so it's for the first time. Yeah, well, they're German. But for the first time,
pronounced Grohr.
Yeah, Grohr. But for the first time in my experience, there's an electric car making engine noises that is authentic. Like the rumble.
Sounds like
the old V8.
Really?
So the rumble comes from behind the seat by your heels.
And because that's gears.
Not really. It's not that kind of noise, but it's like when you're just idling, there's like a... But it comes from where the exhaust pipes on the G-Wagon would be.
Yeah.
And then there's an induction noise that comes out of the front tweeters. You know what I mean? It's very convincing. And you can turn it off.
We need like silent. 1987 Howard Stern to turn that into porn somehow. Well, as far as that kind of shit goes, my favorite right now is the Range Rover one in the seats, the crazy thing in the seats.
I haven't experienced that.
Oh, so
it's not electric. It's just their Range
No,
Rover.
it's in the Octa, the new one, and it's in.
But that's a gas.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with being electric.
Got it.
It's not fake engine sounds. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I took a left turn. I didn't announce my left turn. I didn't put my blinker on. I took a left turn.
Yeah.
Range
BMW
Rover
driver
has put in these, I think they're called transducers.
Okay.
And they're in the seats.
Okay.
And basically, they can simulate having like a 2,000-watt subwoofer.
Oh.
But without having a giant subwoofer. So you feel the bass, and it comes into your ears as bass.
But it's just moving
But it
the
doesn't
seats.
like blow your fucking
it's pulsing,
brain.
physically pulsing.
Yes,
Because
it's like being in the club.
Because Mercedes has 4D sound, and it's just a
But
giant
that's the-
subwoofer
that's
in the
the
seat.
extra D.
And it's literally a subwoofer in your back, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
but
so-
also it's
So this is
Okay.
that taken to another level because the seats have like 12 transducers in it, and they can make you feel it in waves. Is this what it is, Zach? Sub-pack?
So those seats.
Well, this
weigh,
is like a thing that you can buy,
Okay.
right?
No, this is the.
Oh, yeah, this is
tech
the
that was
Range
sold.
Rover one?
The Range Rover.
So how much
bought,
does a Range
leased,
Rover
whatever.
seat weigh now? Like 700 pounds?
I don't know. I think part of it. Oh yeah, that's what it's called. The body and soul seat. Wow. Yeah.
Bass,
Dude, I
bass.
did the demo. It was so sick.
Did
it
you
was the
did you go
coolest.
in the Octa ride?
I didn't go on the ride. I did the Octa thing here in LA where
Okay.
we did the demo.
'Cause somebody
I'd
was
like to
telling
be
me-
invited on the press launch, which I heard is South Africa.
That's sick. Someone was telling me they got a ride in the Octa and that it's just awesome. It's just like they made
Jamal.
an off-road monster.
It's Jamal,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, yeah,
Jamal literally went there and went, how do I build a Raptor out of
Right.
a Defender? Like,
Right,
let's
right.
just fucking
Yeah.
do
Defender
that.
Raptor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamal gives no fucks. He's ready
Jamal's
to go.
great. Yeah.
So I've been trying to get my way onto the launch. I want to fucking go.
I'm not. I got to get back on the launch train. I haven't been going.
I can't. Oh, when is this air?
Next
Next
Thursday.
Is that the 28th? Can I talk about the RS3?
That's definitely the 28th.
I think that's when the RS. I don't really. Well, I'll hold it off.
Okay.
But we just went to Spain for RS3 and RSQ8. Forget the cars. I drove a sick track, courtesy of Audi, who rented it for.
Oh, the Ascari?
No, we did Ascari for 911 GTS, and it was great. This one is called. Oh shit!
Is it a private track in Spain?
It's outside of Barcelona.
Is it like
It's
an
called
F1 track?
Park Motor Cardio.
Is it a massive F1 track with like
No.
2 miles of runoff?
No, it has.
Not
It's on the side of a
Catalonia.
mountain.
Oh.
There was a quarry, like
In Spain. Yo, this is-
outside auto.
this one. That one.
Which one?
I think the closest.
Wait, go to
circuits-
Drive Me Barcelona. It's one of the. It's near Barcelona.
It's not Circuit de Catalunya.
No.
Yeah.
It's the other one that starts with a fucking.
There's
C.
no signage except for gas. There's a
Yes.
yeah. Jethro and I used to
Wait,
rent that all the time
go-
for
keep
head-to-heads.
going down. Which
it's
one?
the greatest. Yeah, it has an
Park
overpass.
Motor Castiglione.
Yeah,
That's
Castiglione.
it. Yeah.
It has the overpass.
Yes, it
it's the-
loops over itself.
Yeah, it's the. You can rent that track for like $20, and you have to like walk their dog or something.
Really?
Oh, it's the greatest.
That track is fucking sick. Look
Yeah.
at the go to Google Images. Let's find an
Yeah.
aerial of it. The elevation.
It's
it was
wild.
So
It's got a
gorgeous.
crossover.
The top left, the top left photo there is a
Oh, it's
very
the greatest.
good.
Ooh.
It's
It is
beautiful.
a fucking.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
looks
it is
like
a bad motherfucker.
What's the
this
one on the
track.
East Coast starts with a P?
And the It's like Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer.
It's like Palmer
Oh,
in
in New
Massachusetts.
Hampshire. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
and
it's
you
killer.
could drive into and off of cliffs just as easily.
It's killer. Yeah, no, it was.
Park Motor Castiglione.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
then you can see the overpass
Awesome.
there. Yeah. The overpass is the greatest because you have the drone guys standing up there and you fly under it. And
Mm-hmm.
It's just great for video.
There's the crossover.
Yep. Oh, it's
Very
the best.
very sick track.
Yeah.
Is it really super cheap?
I remember I was like, Jethro, can we afford this? And he's like, mate, it's Spain. If you walk the dog, they give you the track. So who
That's
knows?
why everybody's going to Spain right now.
Well, it's just also the English opinion of the Spanish. But anyways,
I fucking love Spain.
oh, I'd go to Spain. Let's go.
Hannah and I were trying to plan a vacation, and we're trying to figure out where to go. And she's like, "I don't understand. How do we not go to Spain?" Just as like almost like a meme. Like
So-
I've been to Spain so many times.
It's the
this
best.
year.
And also, Ascari, do you know how that exists? They had to agree. The reason it's shaped the way it is, they had to agree not to touch a single olive tree. So the track just goes around the olive trees.
I like that. It's like
Yeah.
old school golf courses.
Yeah,
Gotta build them as
yeah.
they lie.
That's right.
Yeah, this track is
And
very sick.
There's no signage except for like one ad for like a Esso or something.
Yeah.
So it's cool to film there because it just looks like you're on Mars on a track.
Yeah, it was awesome. And the roads, it's in the shadow of Montserrat, which we talked to last time. The roads around it, awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, in fact, we did a thing with Lamborghinis, and then we went up to do the.
is that a lap?
The still photos at Montserrat. Oh, this is on a bike?
This is on a bike.
definitely
I was like, why is it
100%
tilting?
on a bike. Yeah,
But it'll still show it.
it's
Gas ball, that's the gas, yeah.
Repsol.
Sorry.
I like when I go to Europe. I like seeing the Repsol signs. It just reminds me of the racing.
Honda racing. Right?
Yeah. Jethro and I did a bunch. We did the best one. We did M2 competition versus Alpine A110
here.
No, yeah, here.
Oh man, I bet that was great.
Oh,
is the Alpine A110 just
it's
the
just
best
the greatest
car
thing in
ever?
the world?
God,
The M2 comp is also rad.
Yeah.
But we just don't get anything as light and as fun to drive. So Miata, but this is this is just twice the power of a Miata, and really just a higher price point. It's not a Miata. You know what I mean?
I just met a new neighbor who lives around the corner from me who drove by my house in an orange Elise. And,
there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, and had never heard of the Smoking Tire. Didn't really know who I was. But he saw me outside. I was working out with my trainer because my gym's in the garage. And so we were working out, and he stopped, and he was like, "You're the guy with all the weird fucking cars." And I was like, "That's me.
Yeah.
That's exactly me.
Nice.
Welcome to the neighborhood."
Nice.
Our neighborhood is doing really very well with cars right now.
Ours is
There
not.
is a fucking, I shit you not, 2 blocks over, there's a Rezvani Beast
What?
parked in someone's
That's
driveway.
rad. Is it bulletproof?
I haven't, no, of course not. Why would it be?
Well, those are cool because not only can you get bulletproof.
I'm sorry, not Beast, the tank. The
tank,
one
yeah,
that's
that's what
based
I
off
meant.
the Wrangler.
Yeah, I meant the tank.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry.
a lot of those are bulletproof, but they also have smoke. They also have oil slick, and they have tasers in the door handles. So if you try and if you're in the car and you arm it, and somebody tries to get in and kidnap you, they get tased from the door
It
handle.
is the perfect car for people that are absolutely not getting carjacked or kidnapped, but have convinced themselves that they are.
Yeah.
I love it. Look at that thing. It's great. They
not that
actually
bad looking.
figured out how to put a Hellcat motor in there, which must be the sketchiest, scariest.
Is that what unibody? It's a Wrangler.
It's a Wrangler.
It's a Wrangler. Yeah, it's a body on frame. So there's
Zach, do you want to know when the splash of this?
Is that the same one?
Same joint.
No, I'll go to the next one when
Okay.
we move on.
Yeah, I drove one of these. They drive like if you had a Wrangler and added 2,000 pounds to it.
But it doesn't drive
poorly.
like Raptor R or anything as refined.
The one I
like
drove
the
had
suspension?
a Wrangler Pentastar V6 in it and 2,000 extra pounds of body weight. So
Okay.
it was like, all right.
And not good suspension. All right.
It was cool in a way. Yeah. It was cool. I'll tell you some stories off the air.
I bet you the guy whose house that in has like a sick bedroom and no
Panic
other
room.
furniture in the rest of his house.
Yeah.
His whole house is empty.
Couch with a
He's
big
got like
TV.
a 100-inch TV in his bedroom.
He's got some electric guitar that he never touches.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the living room.
Oh, and he really
He
needs to
owns
get better
50
about
guns
playing
and talks
guitar.
about how expensive groceries are.
That's right. Got to have the handguns. Mm-hmm. I just realized every single person I know is like a gun nut. Like the other day, it just hit me. Everyone I know is talking about. I got my concealed carry. I got 15 handguns.
Bunch of fucking.
I don't get it.
Scaredy Nancy's they are.
I just everyone's like they'll steal your Rolex, man. You got to have a gun. I'm like, well, what? You're gonna kill someone over your watch? Like
Yeah.
what?
That doesn't seem like a good
Crazy,
idea.
dude. No one does that. No one games that math out.
Yeah,
No one's like, okay, so this guy wants your shit.
yeah,
And you're going to kill him in the street.
yeah.
What is your life then?
Yeah.
It's in court.
Are you proud of yourself?
You're in court.
Are you, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
honey, listen, you know that watch you got me? Well, I'm going to be going away for a few years.
like you
Yeah.
could also get insurance on the watch. How
or
about that?
you could,
Like,
but guess what? No one's really stealing watches. It's
I know.
Not, yeah, you know.
it happens 3 times, and then they fucking repeat it on Fox News 10,000 goddamn times. Yeah.
So, anyways, all right.
Wait.
What else?
So
Oh,
what
Did
else?
you guys see?
Did you see the Scout? Oh, what,
Scout!
Did you,
See
what did
Radford?
You see? Huh?
Oh, Raptor
News
went
on-
bankrupt.
Radford going
That's
bankrupt?
not entirely surprising.
It's not entirely news.
Okay,
not
then we can move on
surprising.
to Scout. I just learned it right before I came in here. I was
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
my
that's a
favorite
bummer.
part about the one I saw was Renee Zellweger's boyfriend's car company goes bankrupt because it was like the Guardian or something.
Oh, man,
Yeah,
that's
the
cold.
Daily Mail.
Man, that's cold.
Yeah.
I don't want to crap on Radford while they're down.
I mean, they're down. I don't think they're coming up. But
I'd still like to have a go in that fucking John Player special car.
Yeah.
wherever
Car
it
looks
is,
cool.
wherever it is, I
Car's
would
fast.
like to. I'm going to the Radfords. What do you?
oh, the Reverend
shit.
School is the school bankrupt.
They bought Bondurant.
They did.
Yeah. Is
Oh,
the school?
no.
But is that a separate business?
Well, I don't know. We've rented it for a road and track event in 3 weeks.
well, the track will be there.
Cheers.
You could probably, you might be able to get a lower price.
Yeah.
You might be able to- yeah.
No
Let's
price.
fucking negotiate that shit.
That is a fun track. That is a fun track. I did a
Yeah.
thing with Amir.
Yeah.
National time attack champion.
Yeah.
What's his? He has a great last name. Fuck. Anyways, I just saw him. He was at Watkins Glen, but He had like this Elise that made way too much power from a Honda motor. And I had a Z06, and I had to literally the national time attack champion. I had to race him. Didn't.
How'd it go?
I was like within 2 seconds of him.
Oh, that's pretty good.
He had more downforce than the car had weight.
Yeah,
it was under 2,000 pounds. It was
that's
an
a good
Elise
place to start.
with a hardtop bolted to it.
Oh, cool.
So it was.
I think I've seen that car.
Yeah, it was cool.
Wait, so can we talk about this Scout?
Yeah.
Because is it me, or is that a Rivian?
Boy, that's very Rivian.
Like, is there
The
something
pickup truck looks even more like a Rivian.
like? Is that, and the wheels look like Rivian wheel? Like everything about this looks like they took a Rivian.
It's got a different front for sure.
Yeah.
Also like an original Scout, there's no front overhang. Those front wheels are just like all the way forward. I'll give them credit for that.
But it's
Drag
not
that
it's not a
sideways.
Rivian. Like, all I saw were the photos before I came in here today.
Yeah.
But you're trying to tell me that the Scout is not a Rivian with a different body.
No, there's nothing.
It's just a total coincidence. It looks exactly like a Rivian.
Well,
I don't think it looks that much like an R1S. Honestly.
Look at
it
how
looks like the
far
R2.
forward the front wheels are.
Yeah.
You see how far forward the front wheels are?
This has actually the Rivian doesn't have a lot of overhang either.
Too.
Well, the Rivian is kind of like it kind of does this on the front, like
Tapers in a little bit.
There's way more overhang. That's like basically bumper wheel on the Scout. The Rivian has some body work. It's real similar. It
looks
real
so
similar.
much like a Rivian. Like, I watched someone's video of the launch of it when they drove out. I was like, those are Rivians.
Well, the pickup truck, I agree with you. Let me jump
Find
to
the
that.
pickup. I mean, yeah. That's. I guess.
I'll tell you what. I'll give them this. That rear 3/4 of the SUV, like,
pretty tough.
That is a good-looking vehicle.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It absolutely
That's great.
is a nice-looking thing.
It's a live rear axle too, which is
How
interesting.
And the differentials lock on this one. They don't need a Wi-Fi update for that.
Hang on. Okay, so
Interior looks nice.
The interior looks like real cushy.
the crazy part to me is, and I only caught a little bit of it, but the marketing of this thing is like, it's like a Ram. It's like, for the forgotten American heartland, we're building you an electric SUV and pickup truck that
Really?
like those damn coastal elite liberals, like, this isn't for them, this is for you.
Oh, so this is a MAGA Rivian.
Yeah, it's because Rivian's going all in with like coastal elites. We have a car for you.
We know who's buying our product.
Our car costs $100,000. We know who that market is.
The pickup truck looks so much like a fucking Rivian.
I mean,
it does, dude.
let me see a hard side, if you will, Mister.
I mean, now maybe it's like
maybe
it's like the 2010 Ford Fusion, where it looked like Aston Martin until Aston Martin pull up. But this looks a lot like a Rivian, doesn't it? You can't even say it.
I mean, it looks a lot.
It looks a lot like a Rivian.
The Rivian, the rear glass does like curve, and this seems to be straight up and down. But
it's like a lot like a Rivian. It's close.
It's funny though, if like they're like, okay, Rivians are for the libs and Scouts for the ultra magas.
Yeah, is that how they're doing it?
It seems to be how Scout is doing it.
The thing that jumped out is this curl of the window. The bottom of the rear window curls under. And that, I mean, now that could just be, look, they saw the design on Rivian, they said, that looks good. I mean, that happens in the car world all the time.
The Rivian design goes back to 2017. It's an old design at this point. But
it is that curve though that makes it. I mean, it's like the overall silhouette plus that curve is what says.
What was it called on BMW? Who was it?
The Hofmeister Kink.
But
you know what? You know what it is too. Both the Rivian and the Scout, they flared the fenders quite a bit, and the pickup trucks are usually just boxes.
Yeah.
So they chose to give them shoulders and make them look muscular.
I think the SUV Scout looks really good. I think it
does look
looks
good.
like it's as good looking as a Bronco. I think.
And from the rear, it looks less like a Rivian than from the front.
And this looks wider than the R1T.
It does.
I want to figure out the wheelbase.
I mean, it's parked in the Dances with Wolves set, so I don't really know. I don't have a sense of scale.
Oh, and look at that approach angle. That's nice and that's good.
That is very short.
It's very forward in the front, though. Look at that.
I hope it's awesome. Like, I hope it's great. Nothing wrong with this genre of car.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it'll be
My
good.
first impression was like, holy shit, they put a different body on a Rivian, which it doesn't seem like they've done. Now
Although
that
those are cool wheels.
read a little more.
Yeah, those are cool.
Dude, what if it uses the same bolt pattern as Rivian? You're going to get those rims? We could fucking just do it up.
I mean, what we need to do is
confuse the fuck out of people.
We need to get Shaheen to like spill the beans and like tell us something because he's.
Did he go from Rivian to Scout?
Oh, he's like the head of comms at Scout. Yeah,
Oh,
and he
dude,
listens. Hey, buddy.
He definitely. There's no way he stole all Rivian's IP.
No. I'm
took
just
it to
saying
Scout.
he'll have the story. He'll know the story. He won't ever.
Oh,
tell
there we
us.
go.
The broadside looks a lot like a Rivian.
But except for look at just the front. I'm seeing way more Bronco than Rivian. Like
Yeah, I
from,
agree.
from the windshield
Yeah.
forward.
I agree
The
with that.
windshield rake is Rivian.
Yeah.
Although, I will say this: the rear door is way longer than the front door. So
It does look like a Rivian LWB, like how Range Rover does it.
If I had a complaint because of the gear tunnel in the Rivian, I don't know. The rear seat could be a little bigger in the Rivian. So this looks like they solved that.
Maybe they'll get rid of the gear tunnel and go mega cab.
No, you
You
got
ever see a Dodge mega cab?
We had a manual mega cab.
No way.
Diesel.
Dude, the mega cab is so funny. Pull up any picture of a mega. They've just added. They don't make the window longer.
Right. They just add bodywork.
They add metal, and they make
wait.
it longer.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the Ram long hauler?
No, was there a bed in the back or
Dude,
something?
it would have 160 gallons of fuel on board.
160.
And we were going to do a thing. Yeah,
Wow.
it was a concept. So we were going to do a thing. So that bed extension is just a fuel tank.
Oh my God. So it's a mega cab, but then there's like a very obvious piece of extra body work between the cab and the bed.
That's like a... So I think it had 60
So if
gallons.
If you get rear-ended, you just have a pressurized...
And just,
I
just geysers.
I think it was 100 gallons. But anyways, so they gave it to us, and I think we drove it to Area 51. But my idea was, because the range was over 2,000 miles, I'm like, let's drive from Jacksonville to San Diego without stopping. We'll piss in buckets or whatever. Like, you literally don't stop.
Dude, the badging, it's a Ram 5500.
Well, 5500 is a thing you can buy. That's a real thing. But this is the long hauler. And again, I believe it was 160 gallons of diesel.
So crazy.
Yeah. It was a concept, but it was cool.
I wonder where it's at. Let's fucking get it, dude.
It's in a museum. We had it. We did a whole thing with it.
170.
170
All right.
gallons.
That was close.
Wow. So it's probably
20
the
miles a
standard
gallon.
tank plus like a 140. The regular tank's probably 30 gallons.
Yeah, so I think it had like dual tanks, and then it had 100. In my memory was maybe it was like a 35 and a 35 plus 100. Because I mean, it was like three.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
But like, it's ridiculous. But like, if you have to tow cross country,
Yeah.
and like,
Why don't they do that with batteries in this fucking Scout? Just have like a bad giant.
I mean, that's what the Cybertruck, that range
spacer.
extender that takes up the whole
Right.
bed, which is never going to happen.
big
but-
Which
square.
is so insane.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Imagine, dude. Imagine these.
Yeah. But long haul.
Every time you see a Cybertruck, don't you look at someone now like they're a fucking sap? I can't help myself but feel sorry for every
But
person.
it's the
half.
third most popular
Half.
EV.
I would say
of
half
sales.
because I look at the guys that are doing like the burgundy and the dark green wraps. I'm like, that looks kind of good, and I hate
It does
myself.
help. Yeah, it does help.
It kind of looks good. The guys that don't wrap it, where it's all fingerprinty,
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
What color's yours? Fingerprints, French fry grease, mostly.
yeah. Shake Shack.
Looks like the fridge with my kids around.
Yeah. Oh, mine is chicken Big Mac. You know. I drove the Cybertruck and briefly, but I was like, it's neither as good or as bad as anyone says. It's a perfectly fine whatever, and the CEO's a fucking douchebag. So that's my review.
The steering's interesting, but I don't trust it.
I totally don't trust it.
The rest of it is a very average electric pickup truck.
Yeah, and it's like it rides well, and the interior is a step up for Tesla, but because of the angle of the bed, it's useless. Like my friend got one, he was so excited. He's like, "Oh, dude, it's the great!" And he'd never driven any pickup truck before, and it's a 6.5 foot bed. That means if anything is kind of in the back, you're climbing in. He's almost 50, you're 50. Your knees hurt from climbing in. You're going to climb on the tailgate.
They don't have a man step like Ford.
No man step. And so I said, I had my Rivian, so I was like, yeah, watch this. And I took the water bottle and I put it up against the bed wall, and I reached over and grabbed it. And I took it and rolled it to the back of his Cybertruck cab. I'm like, go get it. And he's like, I got to crawl in. I'm like, yep.
Yep. That is
That's a big problem.
There's a
But
big,
it
stupid
really
design.
Works well with your Jacob watch and your Jordans that have the tag on them.
Hey, man.
And your MAGA hat. It works really
All
good.
I got to say is I've seen a oxblood burgundy and a dark green, and I think they look great.
I mean, a burgundy wrap in general
It's pretty cool.
is like as classy as someone is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I am shocked
Someone
by the
asked us
number.
the other day what the best color was for a Cybertruck wrap. I couldn't give a good answer. My answer was ball polished. when they mirror it, which is like so dangerous. Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
But that
did look cool, though.
It did look cool. Oh yeah, what do we have? Cybertruck wraps here?
Zuckerman's Gay Pride rainbow truck is pretty good. That's pretty
he
good.
did a Harlequin Gay Pride one.
Yeah, it was literally one of his attorneys for Pride Week.
Yeah.
Did it.
Whose truck was that?
Oh, it's his partner's
Oh, it
truck,
is?
but he had it wrapped. And,
Whoa.
Whatever's happening on this one with the rims is really bad.
Yeah, I mean
Burgundy could be interesting.
pink. I like the pink.
Actually,
I like that green
that
next to the pink.
that pink isn't as terrible as I would have
Yeah,
thought.
you know.
That's not bad. I mean, I'm documented for liking pink, but
That
the green
is not
in the
bad.
middle, whatever to the right to
Yeah,
the left there.
that's
That
not
green,
bad.
That's all right. That
Yeah.
might be the best I've seen. What is that? What color would you call that?
It's like a shape,
Non-colorblind
it's kind of a
people?
shape-shifting green. Let me look at
it's a little. It's two different colors.
Little
Like-
green, little
See the one
gray.
that
the front's a little bit yellowish green,
Yeah.
and the back gets darker
green.
more teal.
That's not terrible.
But
That one's all
I saw
right.
like a dark oak metallic kind of Porsche green that looked really good. I saw it rolling around. It
Oh,
looked cool.
can I just drop a bomb real quick? Speaking of oak green metallic, Westside Collector Car Storage is presenting, probably by the time this shows up, a fucking sick 2018 991.2 Turbo S in oak green metallic with almost $100,000 in exclusive and special wishes options on it.
Oak green metallic, you say? Because
Is that
I
what you're
have,
driving the
I
Panamera?
have a Panamera GTS that is oak green metallic Nero.
Nice.
Nero, I think, just means they add $5,000 and you get the word Nero in the
black.
code. Yeah.
You know that, Zach, you know that car. It's the fucking homie's car.
Oh, that thing's really sweet.
His daily,
Yeah.
it's the guy who owns the amazing bit, and it's his daily.
It is
It's
a
very
991.2.
nice looking.
It's a .2 Turbo S.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
with
Great.
special wishes fucking hurled at it.
Right.
Extended leather, like they
yeah.
leather wrap your fucking balls in this car.
Finally.
Houndstooth, Pepita.
Sorry.
All the
Yeah.
painted this everything.
That's
It's
great.
got so many options on it.
Okay.
It's so cool.
I love it.
Speaking of wraps, I'm getting my M3 wrapped in this obsidian green metallic.
Whoa,
Nice.
that reminds
From
me of
405
Webb's,
motoring.
Webb's car.
405
Webb's GLA
motoring.
405.
They're helping
They're
me out
our
with this.
vendor for WCCS.
So-
Oh, cool.
They
They
do
wrap-
our
they
wraps
wrapped-
and our PPF.
They wrap my Rivian.
Oh, shout out to 405
Nice.
Motoring in Inglewood.
Nice guys, too.
The
Yes,
homie
very nice
East
guys.
and
East.
Cliff and all the good boys down there. They have the cigar night was fun
That
too.
was great. I
Yeah.
gotta do more of that.
We send at WCCS. We send our PPF work to them.
So we should do a live podcast with me and you because I mentioned to Spike, I'm like, East said we could do a Spike's Car Radio from there. And Spike's like, why would we do that? So I'm like, all right, whatever.
We could do it.
Yeah, let's smoke
Yeah, we
cigars.
could do it and
Yeah,
have
let's do it.
cigars.
Yeah, have cigars. and do it.
Podcast plus cigars.
Yeah.
That seems fun.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do that. I'll call him.
Done.
That color was cool.
It's really
That'll
nice.
be great on
it's
your
very,
car.
It's as close to Oxford green as I could get.
But it's got
Yeah,
a lot
like
of bright in it. A lot of
It's got a
shiny,
little more gold in
sparkly.
it, and then when in the dark it almost looks black, but as soon as like a headlight or anything hits it, it just it's gonna look sick.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yes.
Do we need to level everything else up to it? Like, do we need to refinish your wheels? Do we need
Oh,
to
You need
I'm
bronze
buying
wheels.
wheels.
which wheels are you
I'm gonna get Apex wheels in
Oh,
bronze.
you are? Okay.
See,
They're-
I called it.
I'm gonna do
All
that,
right,
and
yeah.
then I'm gonna do some
your
little
M3
interiors.
is going to be straight hot boy in like a fucking
No,
minute.
it's gonna look sick. Yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna be
look
awesome.
what I'm doing to my
green and bronze.
Toyota.
Yeah, who doesn't like that?
I'm ruining my
like
Toyota.
green.
Hot boy is VIP stance in my opinion.
And you're not VIP stance?
No,
Okay. All right.
Dynan did my stuff, Carbon, but Steve Dynan.
Carbon.
Yeah.
I love
You
carbon.
know, your car didn't start in my driveway before.
Are you serious?
No, it did eventually.
Oh,
It
you have to
didn't-
turn it on and wait a
It
second,
didn't
and the fuel pump
It didn't
gives you fuel.
right away.
Gotta hit the
Yeah, that's what it
auxiliary
does.
fuel pump.
Yeah, I got in it to move it because Zach. We had a car shuffle that in hindsight makes absolutely fucking no goddamn sense whatsoever. I mean, it was a terrible car shuffle. And to the point where Zach and Sarah, husband and wife, had no cars.
Yeah, I realized it today.
They shuffled out all their cars.
If you saw the nonsense fucking dominoes I had to do at my house to put cars places, yeah,
they shuffled out all their cars, so I had to move Zach's car out of my driveway, and it
because you jumped in and you have to. If you wait 2 seconds, fuel goes to the engine.
I off and then
it's
on.
fine.
Do you have a separate fuel pump or something?
No, it's just what it does.
Takes a
No,
while.
he just has an old fuel pump.
Yeah. Well, the fuel pump's new, but it's old technology.
The race car E92 M3 I just drove was you get in, turn it on, and then it's pump, secondary pump,
Right.
and some other cooler thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got to go. What series were you racing?
World Racing League.
Okay, which is one of the three sort of semi-cheap car endurance racing.
No, it's like a level up. It's like GT4 cars, literal GT4 factory cars. This is like a $75,000
classed
weekend.
out.
Yeah, so the top class is GTO, they call it, and it's literally AMG GT4, Porsche Cup cars,
Okay.
Aston Martins, V10 Audis. Like it's big fast cars that pass you and have aero. And then there's this class called GTU, which is these like little. If you go to the right, Zach, you'll see one. But they're these like weird prototype things. They're called like Stratuses, and they're go back. They're horrible because they're below your door sill and you can't see them, and they have less power than you. So on the straights, they're right in your blind spot, and as soon as you get to a corner, they're passing you, and it's like ugh. We were what's called GP1, and that's basically the E92 class, and then there was GP2 and GP3, so it'd be E46, E36, like to make it simple to understand.
And equivalent.
Yeah.
And
then Watkins
so what else is
Glen-
in your class? Cayman GT4?
Yeah, that was the car that won. We finished 8th on Saturday and 9th on Sunday. So, there's 21 cars, 2 top 10 finishes. We were happy.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
How long was the race?
8 hours and 7 hours. I
How
believe.
long? 4 drivers?
We had like 3.1 drivers. We had a guy that only went in for a little bit and had massive brake failure. Like a line backed out of a caliper type brake failure on the front.
Did you drive one stint or 2?
I drove one both days.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was fun. I mean, it was like, look, I'm not fast. It was my first time at Watkins Glen, first time in the car.
Great track, isn't it?
Oh my god, so dangerous! Like walls everywhere, but like wow, what
a good time.
It's kind of now in my top 4 tracks. I love it.
Where do you put it compared to Road America?
I've only driven Road America once on a press trip, so I need more time at Road America. And it was one of those where you get 3 laps behind a guy and there's no instruction, and you're just like, what the hell?
I think Road America and Watkins Glen are about a tie.
So yeah,
some would put Road Atlanta in a 3-way tie with those 3, but I think Watkins Glen and Road America are just above Road Atlanta.
Before this race, my top tracks were like Nürburgring, Spa, Laguna Seca, and then Lime. I love Lime Rock, and now Lime Rock has been dislodged.
Yeah,
and Watkins Glen. Lime Rock's tiny, but it's so fun.
Lime Rock's great, but it's not the Glen. It's not
the
Road America. It ain't
crazy.
Spa.
No. I just really liked drive. It's just simple. It's just fast. It's not overly. Like modern tracks seem to be complex for the sake of complexity.
Lime Rock. It's like we were just talking about. You build the fucking track on the land that's there as it is,
and that's the Glen.
And that's what the Glen, and that's what Lime Rock is as well.
And that's what Laguna Seca is. Yeah. So our car, what was funny is to do the balance of performance. Like, look at the wing difference. That car is in our class. So because we had so much power, the BOP is we get no aero, and the climbing S's are good for power. After that, the Glen is a downforce track. So I was struggling after this. I was doing pretty okay on just, climbing S's. But look, on Saturday, I got in the car. We were in 8th place. When I got out, we were in 6th. On Sunday, I got in the car. We were in 11th, and I got out. We were in 9th, and I think we finished up in 9th. So
how long were the sessions, or how long is
I did like a gas tank, so like an hour 15, something like that. I was brought in. They were like, "Look, we need a guy that can go make laps and don't crash."
Yeah.
And they said,
"That's how I got on race teams."
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, and it was like Randy Post years ago. Somebody asked him like, "What do you think of Johnny as a driver?" And he's like, "Well, he'll never win. He'll never crash, but he'll never win." So
It makes you a good endurance teammate.
Yeah. And it was...
Endurance team needs one guy who's a go-for-it guy.
Yeah, we had that.
3, like, consistent, smart people.
We have this kid, Tato Zeiderman, who is so unusually quick. He's like 20, just started driving a year ago. I predict he'll be a professional driver. Somebody will pay him to race their car. He's just got it, whatever it is. And like it was funny, like you know MJ, Michael Ryan Johnson. He's a coach. He used to be a Pecla instructor.
Don't know.
Maybe. He was our 4th guy. We didn't really get to drive that much, brake failure, but he's awesome, great dude. So my other teammate was this guy Klaus, who's a commercial airline pilot who's like just Mr. Consistent, like, and is Mr. Simulator. You know, he's airplane simulator, race car simulator. So he was like, I'm going to show you your trace versus Klaus's. I'm not going to show you Tato's because it'll look like the hand of God is reaching in to do weird stuff. Yeah. It makes no sense. He's faster than me. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So it was super fun. And like, you know, we didn't get a single penalty and we didn't have any incidents. And again, 2 top 10 finishes.
Yeah.
I'd never driven
Pretty
the track.
good. That's awesome.
I was happy.
That's very good.
You know, I have a lot of room to improve, obviously.
Yeah.
But again, they said, you know, we want a guy that won't crash the car. And our sister car, so our car was Hulk Tua, actually, we decided to call it. But there was Cherry, which is the same thing but red. And like Cherry passed me, and then I went around a corner, and Cherry was backwards on a wall. So it's like, okay, no arrow.
Endurance racing is...
Yeah, you got to make the laps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got to fucking finish.
Yeah. And also...
for most of my endurance racing career, I was the starter because they knew that I wouldn't be a shithead in turn 1. And, like, that's where, I mean, the number of people that crash out at turn 1 in a 24-hour race is crazy.
Turn 1 is particularly weird at this one. It's a strange corner. But, no, it was, look, I was, you know, we had the guys, what is the expression? The guys throwing fireballs. So Tato started the race, you know, and everyone was really quick. And then it was Klaus, then it was me. And we did, and it was, you know, when I got in the car, I was going against the slower drivers, and it was fine, you know?
Yeah.
So I had a blast, and like now I want an E92.
Yes, I understand.
Straight piped E92.
They're a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had Steve Dinan was here yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And talking about the fucking, you know, they still do the 4.6 stroker engine.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
the fucking nastiest, you know, E92 engine that ever was.
Yeah.
And that's just a real delight.
This was cool because this is you can see probably in one of these pics. There's lots of green cars. Oh, the one where it's my teal feet. You see that one, Zach?
Top right.
Top right. If you pop that one up, you can see in the background there's some other BMW. So it's this. I'll just give them a shout out. It's company Open Throttle, and they're like in a ride and drive. And it's this
great
guy Mike Gorman. Nicest guy in the world. Like he had one of those faces where I saw him like, oh yeah, I like this guy. Like he's a good crew chief.
So they're doing a ride and drive in what, E46s?
They have E46, E92. I think that's basically what he had. They started with Miatas. He was like a banker or something, and he like decided to do this. And they put in 3 engines in one car. His team thrashed. I got there. It was like 33 degrees. There's a guy sleeping on a piece of AstroTurf in front of the trailer. Been thrashing all night. Got the engine in. The car did great the next day. You know,
that's fucking hardcore.
It's.
I do love a Spec E. Spec E46 is such a nice, fun, easy race car to drive. So manageable. Never get out from under you.
This is for the people watching. That's Klaus in the white suit, and he's getting out. Tato's getting in. This was day 2. If you go back a slide, this is the E46 that Matt was talking about. And, this is one of the other teams, and it was, they were doing great. It's just, Open Throttle's cool. They made us hamburgers. Like, it was just great. It was like the complete...
I can be counted on to do that at a racetrack.
Yeah, it was
If you
cool.
have an endurance racing team and you want someone who won't crash the car and will make hamburgers... Fucking call me.
And if you have an endurance racing team, you want someone who won't crash the car and will eat hamburgers, call me.
Well, we fucking almost bought a car that was going to become an endurance racing car, but the owner had a different story. The car had a mold issue.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, right?
Yeah.
Talk about fucking get this thing out of here.
The only thing better is smoke damage.
It was perfect. It was a CTSV 2012. Fucking could it would have been the best.
But okay, yeah, except for one thing, the fuel economy is so fucking bad. Is there a way to make it better,
dude? Yeah, pull the blower off. Run it naturally aspirated, and the rest of it would be all right.
Yeah, it's a great chassis. Great chassis.
Yeah. But it didn't happen.
Yeah. Anyways, Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen. Good for you. Didn't crash the car. You wore that Bugatti suit.
Dude. So.
Talk about your fucking swag. Yo, we used to talk mad shit about this. I was just at Performance Car of the Year a couple weeks ago for Road and Track, and someone had brought one of the helmets from the 2017 Acura NSX launch at Sonoma, where they gave
carbon helmet.
They gave everybody carbon helmets. Someone rolled up and it said fucking NSX on it. I was like, oh shit.
I remember Kamisa got one. He was so excited about it. Hey, so this is a funny story. So this is Jamie Morrow, who's our buddy. Mm-hmm. So when I did Pikes, he said, hey, I have a hookup at HRX. You can get a custom suit, and I can get it to you for like $2,500 instead of $90 million or whatever they cost. That's what F1 is HRX. And I was like, great. So they send you a thing, and you do like 20 different measurements, and they say, do you want it loose, normal, or tight? And I'm like, I've always wanted a loose, as a fat person, I've always wanted a loose fire suit.
Give me a comfortable goddamn
It's such
fire
a cool
suit.
look, though. I see these guys in loose suits. I'm always, So I get my suit, which was perfectly measured.
Loose.
And I said loose, and I'm a fucking vice versa. I'm a sausage. It's so tight. I can't even bend over to tie my shoes. I have to take my one foot, put it on a rock rail of a truck, and lean. When I was in the car, it was cutting into the top of my thighs.
This suit?
No. This is my Pike suit.
Oh.
So then, when I went to do Bugatti, Jamie Morrow was the guy who put it together, and he hooked up that all the Bugatti owners would get an HRX fire suit gratis, whatever, free. And so I had my old measurement, so I literally added a centimeter to every measurement, 2 to the crotch because it was so tight. And I said loose again, and so I have a perfect
now
fitting
you have a
suit.
good fitting suit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This one I did not pay for.
That's
this was
so
free.
funny.
Yeah. And I'm literally in a 400 kilometer an hour Bugatti suit. Like, why not?
Get the custom fit suit. It's like, dude, this lie I've been told my whole life. The worst lie that I've been told my entire life. You ready? The XL runs big.
Oh yeah,
that's the fucking.
Yeah.
That
happened to me today. They said, "What size are you?" And I said, "It either XL or double X. It depends." They're like, "The XL runs big."
Let me tell you something. If you're out there and you work fucking retail, and you tell somebody the XL runs big, may the fucking wrath of Zeus.
By the way, Zach is looking at you like you're crazy.
Fucking on you, dude.
Because I think I bet they're trying to make you feel good, but it's such a gamble for the clerk.
They're trying to make a sale.
I think they're trying to say that you don't need to go up to 2X, sir. You're just an XL. It runs big, and then if it doesn't fit, you're extra crestfallen. It's such a gamble.
But have you ever bought?
This is the deepest level of bullshit.
Have you ever
told to fucking get?
Have you ever bought an XL in Europe?
Dude, I
don't attempt.
I bought a large T-shirt in Spain.
Oh, Spain's even the further south you go, the smaller
barely
they come in.
went around my skin. It was offensive.
I did a weird Iceland to Portugal trip, and of course, going from Iceland to Portugal, your bags are in the ocean. Like, forget about it. And we're also not even in Lisbon. We're in a place where there aren't really stores.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need clothes, and so there was an Izod shop, and I found
there's always an Izod shop.
I found an extra large.
In Europe, there's always one. They pop up out of nowhere.
Extra large polo.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me try it on, but it was XL.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Dude, same thing. It was so fucking tight. I literally showed up to dinner, and I was just wearing my dirty shirt, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm wearing a black T-shirt because...
Yeah.
I brought the shirt. I'm like, look. And
let me introduce Exhibit 1.
The sleeves are also so short, it's almost like you cut the sleeves off. They do a short sleeve, short sleeve.
So weird.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
That was such a weird trip because it was like my bag kept showing up a day after I left. Because it was one of those where it was like I did a Range Rover, Range Rover in Iceland. I don't remember in Portugal, and then a Lexus in Spain.
Oh no!
Because you could just drive.
It just kept catching up,
and I just had no clothes. I found underwear that fit, so I had clean underwear. But
that whole being in another country, far from home, especially if it's non-English speaking, whatever, and not having anything. Oh, it's
the only good place is Germany because Germans are big. Like I bought a jacket in Frankfurt a month ago.
Yeah,
fit. It was a double X, which I think would be an XL in this country. But the guy looked at me, he's like, "You're a double X." I'm like, "Great, perfect fit." Like it was a Timberland jacket, perfect fit. But
Lufthansa lost my luggage going to Scotland, and I had to buy.
That'd be rough.
Dude, it was 10 days. I was there for 2 weeks, and it was 10 days before I got my bag. I had to buy an insane amount of shit in Scotland.
Scots can be big.
I found stuff.
Okay.
I did find stuff. It was not perfect, but it got me through.
I went to
But it wasn't great.
I went to like a farmer's supply shop in Wales once, and they had farmers are big in Wales, and they had rain gear that like fit me. I was very happy.
You were ready to birth a sheep for sure.
I mean, I went shopping one time with Mike Schaefer in London, and I bought an XL polo, but 3 different colors.
Yeah.
And same company and 3 different sizes.
This happens to me all the time.
It's horrible.
I'm religious about Ralph Lauren polo jeans.
Can't relate, but go
despite
ahead.
my fucking affiliation with them historically.
Sure.
And despite the fact that I buy the exact same model and size of jeans and different size pants show up fucking all the time.
Right.
All literally, these are not. How did the machine spit this out after this?
Right.
And I hate myself because I don't fit in the fucking jeans. Because actually, hang on a second, loser. You're the same size. These pants are different size. Anyway.
I always try and buy different fun jeans, and it's always
we can't
terrible.
wear fun jeans.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Brian Scotto told us about Ken and his jeans. He said
Canada?
Ken.
Oh, Ken.
Ken would never wear blue jeans. He said, "What am I, a fucking farmer? You never wear blue pants."
I mean,
now that I think about it, I can't unthink.
Yeah,
he's coming back, Brian Scotto. Maybe you want to drop in. He wants to go for the podcasting record
of
the time, run time.
Oh yeah,
he wants to do a 4-hour fucking burner.
I'll
you want to get in on
booze.
that?
I'll bring booze.
You want to get in on that? All right, special bottles only.
Here's what we do.
Yeah,
we do.
I'm gonna have 2 of those.
Yeah, Bang and whiskey.
We're doing Bang car bombs. Let's fucking go.
That would be fun with Scotto. I just saw Scotto. He's doing good.
He is.
Yeah.
He's at the Scout launch, strangely.
He's what?
He was at the Scout launch. At least his Instagram looked like he was there. I was surprised.
I think he's bored.
Maybe it's down there.
Yeah, he needs something to do.
I like his farm content, too.
Yeah, although he told me he's not really at the farm that much. He just makes it look like he's at the farm. Probably getting in trouble.
That's called pulling a Clarkson.
Yeah.
Yes. yeah.
Shout out to him, heart surgery. Mm-hmm. Shout out to JC.
He had heart surgery?
Yeah, he had to have a stent put in.
Well, he should take better care of himself.
Right.
As I'm drinking this.
We all should, shouldn't we?
We should. Zach's working out. Look at this guy.
Yeah, but I don't do cardio very often. I need to do more of that. So
I'm
his heart is way
waiting for the fucking
stronger.
day when his shit just fucking flips when it turns a corner. I feel like he's
in which direction? What?
I feel like Zach is eventually going to. And this is wistful thinking. I have no evidence for this. Eventually, Zach is going to be skinny with a pot belly.
Oh,
like my homie Brandon from back east. Yes.
If that happens to me, I'm going to the hospital.
Dude, my homie from back east who used to be able to just crush the worst food imaginable and never gain weight.
Yeah.
And then he hit 35 or so.
Sure.
And he stayed skinny except for his stomach.
that's what happened to Clarkson.
No. Yes. Yeah, it did.
Well,
it actually did.
He just drank a lot.
Yeah.
Well, but
Hoxton.
Yeah.
That gut Clarkson developed the last few years.
It's pronounced.
Yeah. No, Zach's pretty muscular these days.
I think I will have a heart attack. I'll be the person who's like, he looks so fit and yet died at 45.
You're going to drop dead while rock climbing.
Yeah, because I don't do cardio. That's,
Yeah.
I go up the stairs and I'm like, I should do more cardio. I get tired. Yeah.
My heart is stronger than my body
100%.
looks like it should be. My cardio strength is really, really good. But I have
Can we
fragile
put your
bits
heart
that
in
will
me?
just collapse, huh?
Put your heart in my body.
Dude, if I die, you can have it.
Get a room.
If I die from something else, I'll earmark that.
Get a room.
You're already in the will.
Do you want my eyes? Do I have better eyesight than you right now?
You know you're in the will.
I am?
How do I get in
will.
this will?
I didn't know that.
The funny thing about
Zach,
being in the
what
will
do I have to do?
is I think I have to update the will because I think Zach is being willed a car I don't own anymore.
That would be the funniest will reading.
That's some probate nonsense.
I gotta update it.
Yeah.
Yo,
That would be-
Hey Siri, send an email to my estate manager.
Imagine they're reading at the end and they're like, and you get the Ferrari 328. I'm like, he doesn't own it anymore. And they're like, well, then you get nothing.
You get this piece of paper. Enjoy.
Well,
Yeah.
You get the Focus RS. What?
Right. Hey, could you put a thing if you're
Yo, I gotta update that.
if your
Mach-E was
Countach
at
is
least-
never actually back together, could I have that? If it's back together,
we can add a rider that says if the Countach is
that's what I'm saying.
unfinished.
Give it. I want the.
It's
I want, yeah, send it
unfinished,
to
Zach.
Johnny.
Yeah,
I did drive that car before you. I have a little connection. to
You
that car.
remind me every time I see you.
That's right. Just letting you know. I like Countach.
You know, I fucked her before she got married. I did. I just want you to know that. Like,
You did?
she's married to Michael Jordan. I know, but I hit it first. Just
You did? That's good. Yeah.
Dude.
I should tell Matt I drove it twice before you.
Twice, 2 times.
Yeah, 2 times.
Well,
What are we doing?
oh my God.
I'm ruining my car.
meandering.
I'm ruining my car.
Well, I wanted to ask because you took it to
car?
Steph Papadakis.
Yeah.
And
Well, they're
why
really
are you
quick.
why are you doing that?
I got a text message from Jen Horsey who was like, "Hey, do you want a new radiator, intercooler, and oil cooler?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure,
course.
why not?"
Solicitation. It's a
And-
misdemeanor. Solicitation
go
and
to the very
modification.
top.
I saw. Is it this?
The very top, yeah, that.
Yeah. Well, look, homie
Dude,
knows what he's
Papadakis
doing.
is a genius.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Well, okay,
We're going,
so not
Johnny,
only that,
we're going
is
with
that
this.
Pinhook?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pinhook's
maybe.
good.
Yeah, I like
Pinhook's
Pinhook.
all right.
I might have. Did I bring you this one?
Maybe.
So,
Let me get it.
it's
Pass me the water,
it's CSF, and
Oh yeah, CSF makes good shit.
They make good shit, and they're partnering on some of the stuff with Jackson Racing. So it's a new radiator.
Wait, Jackson Racing?
Yeah.
The same Jackson Racing that made superchargers for like Integra Type Rs and shit?
I believe that's the
Oh,
case.
wow.
I
For
believe that's the
GRs, I
case.
think.
Yeah.
So 2 of the 3 parts are a collab with Jackson Racing. I don't know which 2, but it's a radiator. It's a much better intercooler that supposedly adds power, and then it's a oil cooler that takes the oil cooling off the radiator line and just makes it air cooled oil, so the radiator juice is only cooling the engine. So supposedly
cool.
that's an improvement. And this company, Even Turi, who makes these fucking
Oh.
go to the
They
right.
make good intakes, right?
Yeah, go to the right. Keep going. Hey, these are the parts from CSF.
Many parts.
Keep going. One
Have you
more.
seen CSF? Have
Look
you
at
seen
this.
their fucking 911? It's dope. What is that?
That is not a
that the
mid-range
intake?
Yes.
Is that the air filter?
Yeah, go one more.
That's trippy.
So it's
Nice.
these massive carbon fiber parts. So they also, I had the in
I
a
would
box.
flip that over and drop a deuce right in there very comfortably.
Yes, my Pagani toilet. So basically, Even Turi sent me this intake kit, and I watched the YouTube video of how to install it, and I'm like, never going to do that. And so I said, hey, since you're taking the front off my car anyways,
Yeah,
and,
While you're in there.
and it turned out one of the guys, Sean, has the same intake on his Civic Type R. He's like, oh yeah, I'll put that in, no problem.
All right, cool.
And I have a, they're doing so much. They're fucking great. I have a FI exhaust, which is a great exhaust because it looks good, sounds good. The hangers are idiotic. They're so bad. I can't.
What makes them bad?
They're not long enough, and so the rubber grommet or the rubber hangers part they come off, and then you exhaust hanging. It's
Yeah, that's dumb.
bad from the factory. So their fab guy at Steph's shop, he looked at it and he literally went and like cut some bolts and refabbed it, and it's insane. It's like perfect. And I saw it before I left, and it's
Cool.
literally solved. Like this
Yeah.
problem that's been vexing me for months is solved.
That's
Isn't that a
awesome.
nice feeling?
Because like before,
You know what's a really nice feeling? Paying someone a very small amount of money to very easily solve a thing that would have taken you a very long time to deal with.
This is a locking washer.
You have brought a locking washer.
This is what I
called
took
show and tell.
off the car because he solved it with welding.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
I lost one, and so he's like, here. I said, okay.
So,
Yeah.
what is the purpose of the parts that were installed?
For me or for them?
Obviously, I mean, Jen reached out to you, so they're trying to market a collaboration and products,
Yeah,
etc.
I mean-
but what should the car be changed to?
So, supposedly, now everyone on the internet's telling me I'm crazy, but, what's new? Supposedly, the intercooler itself bolts on 20 horsepower, and the intake bolts on 18. So I'm supposedly bolting on 13-ish% more horsepower. However, let's say
there a
you
tune
actually
involved?
okay. If the thing is, I have a chip to tune it. I have the
Okay.
kit. I haven't done it yet. When I do tune it now, the cooling system's upgraded, the intercooler's upgraded, And when I do tune it, it will handle the tune better, is the idea.
Want some
Right,
boost
because you're
aid?
supporting mods are better. That makes sense.
Yes. So look, all it is it's a perfectly fine Toyota under warranty that I've totally shit canned, and it will blow up. And
I've been there 100 times.
It'll catch fire, and everything bad will happen. Everything that the internet says will happen is going to happen.
Mahalo.
I think
it'll be fine.
What's going to happen? All 3 diffs will overheat while it's catching on fire. 100%. You know. So
Listen,
yeah, and Toyota won't honor the warranty because I'm nobody. And
dude, burn it to the ground.
I'm going
Let's have
to.
fun.
I'm
It's
gonna
be
have
all
fun.
right. It'll be all right.
Give me the ice cup.
The ice cup?
I think that's great. You're doing the supporting stuff first.
Yeah.
It'll run cooler.
Yeah.
It'll be better.
It'll be great
and
in the
then,
summer on the Crest next year.
Yeah,
Truly.
and look, I've how do I put this? The only thing that maybe I don't like about the car, and I really don't care that much, is that boy, it could use a little more power. Like it's 300. It's 300 in an age where my pickup truck is 835, so it's like, I could take a little more power. You know what I mean? So the kit I got to tune it, which I'm not going to announce until it's actually installed, but is supposedly could go up to 600. I'm going to take it to 450. There's guys doing 800 horsepower Yaris's was this block.
But like with bigger
Really?
turbos and exhaust and everything.
Mostly tuning, but yeah, bigger turbos and
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be bigger turbos.
Wait, are you doing a turbo back exhaust or just a catback thing?
Right now it still has a cat. It's
Cats are fine, but like
it's the FI exhaust. I can show you on my phone, but anyways, no, I'm not going to mess with the turbos or any internals. I'm going to do a tune. Supposedly 450 is easy.
That's a lot.
It was built as a
50%
Raleigh.
jump.
That's a lot for that car.
Well, apparently it's not. They're kind of designed to do 800 for rally spec, and so 450 is well
Which one
under.
of those runs?
With
what
those
cars run
internals?
800 horsepower.
or with
Supposedly, yes. It's or the block, I should say, not the internal.
That's
the
very
block
different.
Is meant, yeah, it is.
Okay.
The block is meant to take, but the block is meant to easily take.
The rods
800.
will let go at 500, but the block is good for 8.
The rods will let go at 500. Which is
The
fine doing
B58 has
450.
entered the chat.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
Yeah, 450. Dude,
I'm
a
excited.
50% increase is a lot.
No,
but
it's a
I mean,
ton.
look, the Carbon car we just had also a 50% increase. Like modern turbo tech is pretty wild.
Yeah, and even if I go to just 400, it's
That's
still
gonna
plenty.
You're gonna notice.
Yeah,
that'll be cool.
And so I'm gonna. The car's done. I'm obviously not gonna get it today. I'm gonna go get it tomorrow, and I'll see how it is. And if it's cool, then cool. And I have the tuning stuff. I have to take it to a shop to get that installed at a certified shop for them.
Nah, just do it yourself. It should be
World
fine.
Motorsports, shout out to them.
Well, there's only 2 people in the U.S. who do it. It's a European little thingy.
Where do you go?
I forget the name of the shop. It's
Is
in my
it
email.
like
Close?
It's here.
It's 20 miles from my house.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
2
yeah.
shops in the country, and one's 20
No,
miles.
there's 2
from your house?
shops close to me in California.
Oh, all right,
And
all
the
right,
one they
fine.
recommend is like in City of Industry or something.
All right,
Yeah.
fine. Okay, cool. All right.
But it's just they work with this company and
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Has Steph tuned one of these and messed around with it at all?
Steph owns a Maurizio.
Oh, he does?
Which
Okay.
he doesn't want to tune because he wants to sell it because he just bought he bought like a 95 Supra, so he's just out of space. You should
Let's
see
go.
the shit this guy has.
He's
got
awesome.
a first gen Celica that's going to SEMA that is like maybe the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen
it's
it. I've seen that car. It's rad.
Stunning.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then he has this red 95 Supra that's rad. And it's like non-turbo, big wing, manual. It's perfect. And he's going to, of course, add 1 billion horsepower.
Right, and swap and all that stuff.
And
He's got a little
shit out of
RAV4, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the RAV4
Oh, the
is pretty
two-door
cool.
RAV4 is pretty rad.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like two-wheel drive, like big
Yeah,
horsepower.
but it like gets up
drift.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So-
fun.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing that. I mean, look, I've blown the warranties on 2 different hatchbacks.
I remember your
No regrets.
ST. Yeah.
No regrets.
I regret your ST's ride quality. Aside from that,
I didn't choose that. That was a Thaddeus. I would have
Yes.
left that alone.
Yes, that was
Thaddeus
a
wanted to do
Thaddeus.
those bushings and shit. I would have left that alone.
So the only thing I've sworn to myself I'm not doing is changing the ride height
Yeah,
or
don't
anything
do
with
any
the
of that
suspension.
shit.
'Cause
Leave
it's
it.
perfect.
Leave
Yeah,
it.
don't mess with it.
However, if you go back a picture, look at those skinny ass tires.
I mean, they're small, but that's okay.
So somebody told me they're 235. Somebody told me the GR Corolla can take 275s. So I'm thinking 255s.
you know,
Okay,
you know
otherwise
who to
he's gonna-
ask about that.
No.
Is it- yeah, I'll
after the
connect
air.
you. Yeah, I'll connect
Yeah.
you there. I've
But
heard
also-
that people put 2 wide tires end up snapping things.
I put 2 wide tires on my Fiesta ST, and it just fucking rubbed, and it was lame.
Right.
And this does handle
That's very
perfect, but
So then why mess with it?
because I want different wheels, and nobody makes 235s. All the aftermarket wheels are 250s. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Hopefully it doesn't tramline and I'll do that stuff too much.
It's one of those weird things where it is the best handling thing I own.
So let's modify that part of
fuck it
it
up.
and
Let's
mess it up.
Definitely fuck it
It's
up.
a Toyota. It's the most reliable thing I'll ever own. Let's ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the mentality.
No, just the handling dynamics will change. Like, does it move around a little bit? Do you like that part of it?
Perfect. It's so good. Me and Schaefer took it up in Angeles Crest with Ioniq 5N, and in a straight line, Ioniq 5N is quicker, but once you're at speed, nope, it ain't quicker. And that's a 640 horsepower thing, and totally was either keeping up or ahead of it. It just goes through corners so well. That's why I bought it. I love it.
It is a good thing.
Yeah. So I want to ruin it, but I don't want to no one ever saw this because before I was in the industry, but I had a 2002 WRX, black WRX wagon that I made undrivable. I did so many, and a lot of them were ghetto mods because I had no money. But it was the forum said if you remove the fireproofing material, you can add 5.
Oh, I love that stuff. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Manual boost controller, no problem. Home Depot, yeah.
Yes. And somebody gave me, it's so embarrassing. Somebody gave me a used 3-piece racing clutch.
A used clutch?
It was they put in their car, don't even ask. And
New car you garbage question. Have you ever put a used clutch?
Brake pads.
So the story was that it was a forum friend of mine from my WRX forum days. And luckily, I think I used a different name, so nobody can trace it back to me.
Also, some very good people. Sorry.
I mean, this was before vaping. We were actually smoking. It was great.
Vaping hadn't been invented yet. Your prerequisite. Vaping hadn't been invented yet.
Cell phones were new.
Is this NASIOC? Was that for him?
We would page each
Club
other
WRX?
while smoking.
Yeah, I was on all of them.
I think it was Club WRX.
I was on all of them.
I think it was Club WRX. But we literally had beepers and cigarettes and CDs. We had CD folders.
I have never been cooler than when I had a beeper and cigarettes. God, just had the fucking.
It was
kid.
great.
Just maybe.
Yeah.
Yo, I gotta go.
CDs.
Gotta go, bro. Let me go. Let me load up CD6 real quick. Get the fuck out of here.
And so, anyways, a guy had put in the 3-piece racing clutch, decided he didn't like it, and sold it to me for less than he paid for it. And I put it in.
I know the mindset of that guy. I'm going to get the sickest clutch. I'm a race car driver, and my car needs a race car clutch.
So bad.
What have I done?
Luckily, the best thing happened because I made it horrible. And I was taking my mom home Thanksgiving one night, and I got rear-ended by a drunk 19-year-old in a Volvo. And
but they were
saved
safe.
you from yourself.
They were safe.
They were fine. I remember the kid was like, "Oh, let's not go through insurance. My uncle owns a shop," and I'm like, "We're going through insurance." And they fixed the car, and I got it, and they replaced one of the rear suspension parts, and I got it, and it was I had one corner that was different than the other 4, and I just instantly drove, took a huge loss, and bought another WRX.
Yeah.
And that one, I'm not modding it at all.
Did you install the clutch yourself or have someone do it?
No. I can't. What was the shop? It was in.
Well, it's just there's something horrible about if you spend the work to learn and put all the work in, and you fuck up and stuff, and then you don't like the thing you installed. You're like, well, shit.
Oh, that's not good.
It's worth it's worse than paying someone, which then you lose the money. That also sucks.
I will say the only mods I did myself with the ghettoest forum, if you remove
this line,
if you remove the windshield washer fluid tank, you'll save weight.
I did some pretty stellar removal mods as well.
And I did everything horrible. That poor car. I hope it's
we've all been there.
Yeah,
I put 6 different neon tubes. On my Subaru.
So
in '98.
So Randy Post on this post, his comment was, "Hey, are you going to put underlighting on?" And I'm like, I think I am.
They now have LED. Yeah. You can go street glow real easy.
Yeah, I had
blue. Neon.
Yeah.
I had actual neon.
Why?
This was 98. Fast and Furious hadn't come out yet,
right.
dude. I was before that. That's all I can say.
But Hot Import Nights.
The only thing I can say to defend myself.
What year was Fast and Furious?
2001.
Okay, because I bought my car in October of 2001.
You listen, anything that happened, that's BF&F and AF. I was BF&F with my neons.
I want to say that some of the mods I did were BF&F, like a couple.
All of mine. By the time F&F came out, I was an SUV with TVs in the truck.
Right,
I was not.
right.
I was way past neons.
You were on to rap videos then, because you had that.
I was doing the duffel shuffle fucking hard, dude. I was moving units. This was
Shuffle. I like
yeah.
that.
The duffel shuffle was
That's
fucking
good.
for real. Hockey bag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Straight.
Yeah.
Straight hockey bag.
Wow.
Did I tell you? I told Zach about it. One of our clients here fit more luggage into a 911 than I've ever seen a person fit. This homie rolled up off of an international flight, mad late night pickup, mad after hours, has a 992 cabriolet.
Oh, cabriolet you can fit the most in. Yeah.
This homie rolls up with 3 hockey bags, full, like CCM
So,
hockey bags.
2 in the back seat, 1 in the passenger.
1, 2, 3. But it's him and his young daughter. Maybe she's about 12.
Okay.
3 hockey bags, 2 hard-sided carry-on rollers.
Okay.
And one of the small Yeti coolers. They did
okay. Yeah.
3
That's
hockey
impressive.
bags in the back seat,
Okay.
vertical, stacked vertical like columns.
Got it.
The front seats pushed like way forward.
Yeah. 12-year-old. Cool.
Girl's backpack and the Yeti cooler with the girl, and the 2 hard-sided carry-ons in the front. And he landed at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was a bad late-night pickup. Came off the plane, packed the car, got the car to Vegas. He was
Yeah.
going straight to Vegas.
That was a
wild.
long
It's
night.
so hardcore.
I had one where we did a winter driving thing. We had Audi R8 Spider, 911 Cabrio, and a SL63. And then we went to Utah, and I had all my winter crap, and I was going to Utah, and my friend was flying in, and we were going to play poker, and then we were going to drive back to LA. And I remember I was like, I have to take the 911 because I have my massive-ass bag full of winter gear plus my briefcase, and he's going to have a backpack and a briefcase. And, and it totally worked.
Yeah.
And like my big rollerboard went across the back seat, and then the front ate everything else.
It took this guy 20 minutes, but I was an unbelievable. I should have taken a picture because when he took it all out of the Uber from the airport, I was like, no
We're
chance.
shipping it, yeah.
No chance.
You were here at 1 in the morning?
Huh?
You were here at 1 in the morning? That
I
sucks.
did. It wasn't here. It was South Bay.
Oh,
it was
that
our
also
other
sucks.
store. It was further. Yeah,
That
it was
also
tough.
sucks.
It was tough. But like that's
the business?
I'm a business owner. Like,
Yeah,
I had to go
you
to
gotta
work.
do it.
I
Yeah.
had to fucking do it.
Fuck.
Yeah. Let's go to the Patreon. I'm sure we
Patreon.
have a bunch
There
of good
are
shit
so many.
on the Patreon, and there's a lot. There is 0 chance we get through all of it, but we're gonna try.
I'm
our
in no
very
rush.
best.
I'm good if you want to set the
I'm
record.
trying to fucking hedge, bro.
I was saying if you want to set the record for Scotto to beat.
We don't have a time limit, but
Yeah.
there's no way we're doing 5 pages of questions.
All right.
That's like 3 hours of radio.
Listen, man.
Okay.
All I know is
And-
I like this pinhook, and let's go.
I can only get a certain level of drunk. Okay. And I'm gonna ask real questions. There's some people that have some
I like
fucking
that tough question.
chilling in my Volvillain, which is a very funny username. How does Johnny feel about being replaced by a sticker on Spike's Car Radio?
I feel great
It's not a
about it,
real
man.
question.
No, it is. The last 2 shows, they have a sticker they talk to when I'm not there. And
that's funny.
apparently Zuckerman likes the sticker better than me. So.
They've never asked me to put a sticker on my face when I fill in for you when I'm clearly the backup plan.
They literally have a Johnny sticker that they
Yeah.
put on the couch and they talk to.
That's cute.
Yeah.
It's like that's like Clint Eastwood in The Chair.
yeah. Yes, I mean, yes, it is.
when he talked to a chair,
I mean,
and we
I
still
do
treat him like
remember
he's
that.
not out of his mind.
I mean, there's a whole class of. Anyways, yes, go ahead.
Matt Farah, Taylor's version. It's another great username. Our usernames are getting up. They're getting up there.
What is Taylor's version?
It's like a Taylor Swift thing.
Okay.
You know that?
I really don't. I don't bother.
Backstory,
Yeah, okay,
the
go ahead.
backstory is
Yeah,
she didn't own her publishing rights.
she didn't.
And someone,
So she had, like, the Elvis deal, yeah.
Scooter Braun, sold her publishing rights to somebody else
Sure.
out from under her.
Right.
So she, being the boss bitch that she is, is re-recording her entire catalog.
Oh, smart.
And re-releases every album as parentheses Taylor's version.
Okay, that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
good.
why she's
A billionaire.
rich.
Billionaire.
So
Like
rich.
literally a billionaire.
So rich.
Yeah. Like
Yes.
yeah, more money than our billionaire
Yeah.
friend.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
that's the etymology of this username.
Love it.
She re-recorded. She went in the studio and went,
Fucking brilliant.
Mad Farah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's brilliant.
Let's say Matt Farah Taylor's version says, let's say somebody with too much money
Oh, you're gonna leave out the compliment?
also compliments you. Also compliments you. You read it.
Okay.
Johnny,
Good.
he thinks you're the best man on the mic in the business.
One of.
Let's say somebody with too much money buys the rights for head-to-head, gives you a blank check to make head-to-head Billionaires Edition.
I love it.
What is the episode list? Give us 3 episodes.
okay.
Billionaires head-to-head.
Well, I would instantly do like the Zonda Huayra Utopia.
Okay, so the evolution of the Pagani.
Because I drove a Zonda. And it was a cool car, but it was kind of like if you put a low revving V12 in a Corvette. It had that feel to it. It was a lot of glue, carbon fiber. You know what I mean? Like plastic has been glued together. I know people go fucking apeshit for Zondas, but I was like, I was driving the Huayra on the same day. And funny story, Tiff Nadell almost T-boned the Zonda. Italy, things happen.
That's it.
Yeah. And then I love the Huayra, but I was so impressed, like I said, with the maturity of the Utopia. So that's one. I would like to do. I'm just thinking of these billion-dollar cars because you said billionaire, but like I would love to do something where you drag race like a Koenigsegg and a Bugatti and a Rivians and all the crazy over
Hypercars.
1,300 up horsepower type things. See what's what. I have to give 3. It's a lot of work.
I mean, it's, I'll give one.
Yeah.
I would do the most expensive American car versus European car from each decade, starting like the 50s,
that's advanced.
60s, 70s, 80s. Like it would be like 7 races or whatever.
That's advanced.
America versus Europe for that, and I bet you'd have some pretty amazing.
I would also
results.
like to do because Rolls-Royce never would play ball in this country. I would do Bentley Mulsanne versus Rolls-Royce Phantom and like do like a Vegas weekend and get some boys and go nuts. But like in Europe,
that would be a great story.
Yeah.
Air quotes. I'd love to get some Bentleys and go to
Which
Vegas.
one is more comfortable to vomit in? I'm not sure. We got to find out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Rolls was always cool. Like they had a Rolls Royce. They said it was a humidor. It was a cigar holder, but it was a Phantom Drophead Coupe that had a 3 cigar holder in the glove box.
Yeah.
And I said, let me take that to Vegas, and I'll there's at Caesars the shops, the forum shops.
Yeah.
There's a Casa Fuente, so Fuente cigars, and they make a couple cigars. The only place on earth you can buy them is at
In
Caesars.
there, yeah.
And so I bought them and then did a photo shoot with Schaefer where we just cruised up and down the strip and I was just smoking cigars. And they were fine with that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me compare a Rolls Royce to a Bentley. They're like, no, we're not cool with that.
Oh.
So
I think if you, given all things considered, are you a Rolls Royce man or a Bentley man?
I'm a Mulsanne man. All
so you're a
things
traditional
considered.
Bentley man.
Just the Mulsanne Sport with 811 pound-feet of torque was such a motherfucker of a car, and it had pieces of wood that were like 6x6 thick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it really.
yeah.
Now, I wish I spent more time with the current Phantom 8 because I drove it a little bit and I was like, fuck, this is good. But I think the Phantom 7 came out and I think Bentley reacted to it and they built the Mulsanne, and then Rolls now with the Phantom 8 I think has exceeded it. But I'd love to do the head-to-head. This is why.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I'm a Bentley man. I think they offer all the luxury I want with a little bit more of the dynamics, but I've never not enjoyed driving a Rolls.
There's something about, like, have you driven the Spectre, the electric guy
Yeah,
yet?
yeah.
Like, there's something about...
You're sailing. It's yachting. It's not driving.
And
it's
it
yachting.
also just turns off the rest of the world in a
Sure.
way that other cars don't. It's hard to explain, and you're cosplaying a rich
Yeah.
guy, but it's like there's something so serene about a Rolls-Royce experience.
I think I talked about this on the show at the time, but I didn't enjoy driving the Spectre around town. I felt very self-conscious.
That's the opposite.
I didn't like it. But one of the nights I had it, I took it to Hollywood to see Christian do a show.
Yeah.
And I drove it home solo. And I rolled down the fucking 110.
Yeah.
On a summer night.
Yeah.
All the windows down.
Oh, yeah.
Blasting like U2 from the Sphere. Mm-hmm. With all the fucking...
Yeah.
Starfield this and all this.
Yeah.
Just rolling down the 110 at 80 miles an hour, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in. Yeah. I'm checked in now for this."
I see. It's funny because I had the opposite where I just love driving around, and it's just one of those cars like I just wasn't. It's not that I wasn't self-conscious. I didn't know there was any other cars on the road. You just stop. Yeah. I just stopped seeing other vehicles, and I'm just like, I'm in relaxation mode. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, there is that vibe of the world will start when I get there.
Yeah, and it will.
But I get that in my 1991 Bentley.
I mean,
my 91 delivers me that for single-digit percentage points of what it costs to get it.
Right.
You were there. You fucking know.
Yeah, it does a lot of the same things.
They'll be ready when I arrive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you may not arrive. So
I've never not arrived. Eric, I'm going to answer this in one word. Do I see myself as a current editor-at-large for Road and Track as the contemporary Peter Egan? Absolutely not. There's in no way am I as good as Peter Egan.
Also, Peter Egan, he mostly was like, he wrenched on cars and wrote about it. Shade Tree Mechanic.
Peter's great, and I'm in good company. I'm always in good company. I'm in good company right now.
Yeah.
I don't, and all those older guys that fucking were there first, mad respect. The least I can do is not bring shame to the fucking masthead.
Right.
I just did my writer's sign off on my Manx radial piece. Very excited about that. And I did my sign off on my Pagani piece. It's going to be great. Next issue.
I got to write my Pagani piece too.
I gave it away on this show. You don't even have to read it.
Yeah.
No, get Road and Track print. Joel has always wanted an E46 M3, but he's never gotten one. I have an M2 competition currently. How different is the driving experience? Is it close enough that it's not worth getting my dream E46 M3? Would it be like buying the same car again? I do not think it would be.
They're just totally different.
Very different cars.
It's so different. I would say
they're similarly sized, but it pretty much ends there.
Agree.
I mean, look, probably an unpopular opinion, but the M2 competition is so much better in every way that like you'd be like, I have an old slow car if you got a stock E46.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think an E46 M3 is on the verge of being a classic car. And so you could appreciate it while owning an M2 without feeling an overlap.
The M2 feels, I mean, even though it's, 6 years old, it feels like cars now. Like turbo power and
damping. You have so much body control, whereas an E46...
I did think the M2 comp was... comp was like pretty stiff. That's
it was
a pretty
my
stiff
least
car
favorite of the
M2.
three M2s.
Exactly. Is the worst, then regular, then CS is 5 billion steps ahead of
because they have like solid mounted subframes and everything, and the springs are really stiff. But
M2CS.
The M2C is it feels fast. It feels super nimble, and like very rigid. And the E46 will not feel like any of those things.
It'll feel like it twists.
It's
a piece of licorice.
But as a classic car, which an E46 M3 is approaching.
Sure.
It's a great classic car. It offers an experience you can't buy today.
Sure. I totally agree. I just say, boy, would you be happier, I think, with an M2 comp.
Well, he already has that.
Yeah, so just stay happy.
Here's a suggestion. Even though that is your dream car, maybe purchase a different car that is a different experience. Entirely, like a Cayman.
Or reevaluate your dreams, because some people have shitty dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, it's high school. I mean, look, plenty of cars that we liked in high school are bad cars. Are slow, shitty cars.
Look, the Countach was and remains my dream car, even though I know how,
it's not great.
It's not good.
Yeah.
But boy,
I don't give a shit at all.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
My criteria for buying cars is not they're the best cars. Never have been, never will be.
I mean,
I don't give a shit.
For classics, my criteria for buying new cars is I tend to like what's the best in the segment currently. Like when I got my Alpha, you know, we're getting out of all road, and I wanted another. No one else makes a wagon, but I wanted another like 4-door sedan for whatever reason at the time. And I'd driven everything. Like the Alpha Giulia was the best driving one. It had lots of shortcomings, like no rear seat, terrible infotainment, blah blah blah. But it drove great, and it was a perfectly fine car for 3 years. It was great, good lease. So,
I officially, by the way, sidebar. I officially yesterday nagged my electric Macan. I had never officially said pass. I had ordered one.
Oh.
But I ordered one in February of 2024.
Okay. So that's almost
And then,
a year
like,
ago, yeah.
March, April, the market totally changed in electric cars. And the idea of buying a very expensive electric car with no incentives, it just made it. So, anyway, we officially... We've been saying like for a while they're like we're not going to get it, but officially.
Have you driven it?
Yes.
Yes, good.
It is.
Yeah.
No. It's not about is it good or is it
it's
not
just the
good.
price equation.
It's just it would be for Hannah.
Right.
It would be for running around town.
It's a good run around town car.
It's fantastic, but it's fucking almost $90,000.
Oh, it's not cheap. And you could get a Rivian that makes twice the power for the same money.
Yeah, or you can get a fucking Mach-E, which was great for her in the 40s.
Have you driven the Mach-E Rally?
Yes.
Yes.
It is
that's an underrated
great.
car. It's
so great.
Like it's like.
Did we put out the fucking video?
Still have it in the
we
can.
need to fucking
because like
we need to hear that.
Dakar, Sterrato. You kind of get that exact performance for a tenth the price. I mean, a fifth the price.
The shock tuning was amazing.
Yeah,
They fixed so much with the traction control. Like all the problems with the GT are fixed in the Rally,
and it's the same power.
Yeah.
No.
The only thing is, and I hope I'm not scooping myself. I mean,
it cuts power in rally mode.
It cuts power sooner than it should.
The idea being that look, what's the problem with the Mach-E? The thermal management sucks. It always has sucked from day one. And to prevent that, Ford said, okay, when you're in rally mode and you're like flooring it off road, we'll give you 60% of the power, which is still a ton of torque. Yeah. You won't notice. You might notice, but who's doing that?
You'll notice if you try to do it for more than 30 or 45 seconds.
And who's doing that? Nobody.
It's a journalist problem. As a everyday road car.
Oh, it's great.
It's awesome.
And it looks cool. The wheels are cool.
Seats are great.
Yeah.
And it's everything they've done to that car, other than paint the wheels exclusively white, is smart. Everything else
I
is
would
smart.
go back to the billionaires head-to-head and say I would do Sterrato, Dakar, Mach-E Rally, and there's a chance the Mach-E Rally beats the Dakar.
And 037.
Yeah.
Or 959.
Yes.
Or some,
we'll do that. Yeah. But
right.
Because it is an underappreciated car, the Mach-E Rally.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
It is. It really is.
I love that car. It's a great car.
Super fun.
Yeah. It's exactly the right thing I want to run errands in.
So
100%.
get that.
We might.
Okay.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We're on Bentley time right now.
Gotcha.
The Bentley.
When it shows up, it shows up.
No. The Bentley game is supposed to be a year. Right, that's the Bentley game. Can we daily a Bentley for the year? And we bought on December 27th.
Where is the Bentley right now?
Wow,
Bentley's at Charlie's.
You've almost never made that face. That was so funny.
So what happened was I sent the Bentley for its 3,500
month service,
3,500 mile service.
Okay,
we sent it over there. And I sent it
Wait, what's the 3,500 mile service?
It's like an oil change, and they check the lubrication.
Most cars is called an oil change.
On the hydraulic suspension. It's got hydraulic suspension.
Got it.
It's mostly inspections, but it's an oil and filter change.
Fine. Yeah.
It's a 91. Whatever.
Hey, man.
I sent it for that.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
It came back from that leaking.
Sure, that sounds like a Bentley. Yeah,
so
sounds
like
British.
It never. We've had it for almost 10 months. It's never leaked a drop. Okay. Never. And I know
it got inspected.
I know because our driveway is brand
drops.
new.
Yeah.
It has nothing on it. So it came back a little drippy.
Uh-oh.
And so I sent it back to fucking Charlie, and I said, Habibi, this is not okay.
What did he say?
He said, I'll take a look.
Okay, and that's been.
It's only been 2 days.
Oh, that's fine.
No,
What were you laughing at?
I'm laughing because I knew where it was. And he made a face of like, shit, after
and look,
saying
Charlie,
that my car didn't
Charlie's,
start.
The expectations are very high because Charlie Agapoo, almost every problematic part on one of these cars, he stocks. So if you drop the car off, 90% of the time you get it back in 2 days.
So for those listening, that's always the problem with people I know with old Bentleys.
Yeah.
It's like, I need the weather stripping, which is $20,000 for
Dude,
weather stripping.
when Charlie retires, we're all fucked.
Got it.
Dump your cars.
Right.
We're fucked.
Got it. Okay.
But while he's still there,
right.
he stocks everything. So yeah, it can be expensive. Yeah, it sucks, but it's there.
But
and
he
turns it around.
He
turns it around. So anyway, it's been there for
so you have
a
2
day,
months.
a day and a half.
You have 2 months to figure out your next move after you've owned the Bentley for a year.
I love this Bentley and I want to keep it, but if the fact is, if the math is bad, then we might sell
How
it.
bad could it be?
It's not that bad.
Yeah, so keep it.
It's not like terrible bad.
Yeah, so keep it.
But also,
It looks awesome, though.
it looks awesome.
cool
It
car.
drives
That's a cigar
awesome.
night. Yeah.
I love it.
So keep it.
But it's a little Hannah. It's a little more. She wants, and I understand her point. She wants one normal car.
Yeah,
She doesn't give a shit what we buy. We could buy the dumbest fucking... This Manx is literally the stupidest car that money can buy.
Yeah,
At any
agreed.
price. It is the literal dumbest car on
engine,
the fucking planet.
A radial engine, it's such a wonderfully bad idea.
She is 100% on board.
Okay.
But also kind of wants to be able to go to Century City on a Thursday
and just do it and not worry about it,
fucking care,
and not have to think about the car,
and have CarPlay and shit like that.
Got it.
And electric cars are disturbingly cheap.
Yeah,
they're fucking.
and they're
dumping
perfect,
them,
and they're perfect for going to Century
they're
City.
so good for that.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Yeah.
A mid-level, call it $40,000 to $60,000 electric car. Is such a nice car.
You could get an Ioniq 5N or the Kia whatever it's called EV6 GT, which is like fucking great cars for no money. I mean,
She vetoed the N.
why?
She didn't like the fucking radio and stuff.
What?
This is for her.
Whatever. Okay, fine.
I don't give a fuck.
Whatever.
I'm driving my Spider in the canyons, dude. I'm not taking Ioniq 5 to Good Vibes.
Right.
I got my own toys for that shit.
Yeah.
This is like, what do you want to go to Century City Mall?
Gotcha.
Straight up.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm with you. All right.
yeah.
Cool.
Maybe she liked the Mach-E Rally though.
Rob Mach-E Rally is good.
It's really good.
What have I driven good lately? I don't know. There, go ahead. Yeah.
You had a new Taycan.
I got it this morning. I've done nothing with it. But
Oh,
it
really?
seems nice. Yeah.
I thought you had a couple. I thought your posts were like further back. Didn't you have a 4S?
The Taycan. Sorry, I have a Panamera. It's too many Porsches.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the Taycan's amazing
With hydraulic suspension,
dude,
right?
okay, dude.
Active ride is the jam.
Forget about that's fine and all, but the fucking it's a road tripping monster suddenly, like. Charged it at my house to maybe 100%, let's say. But I think it was a little less when I left. But normally, as you know, we drive a EV that's not a Lucid to Vegas. You're stopping to charge. I could have made it to Vegas with 20% of the battery left.
Get outta here.
Going 82 miles an hour. Cruise control.
Way.
82 miles an hour, cruise control. It was hot, had the AC going. Charging kid's iPad and blasting Harry Potter audiobook.
And you could do a no stop to
Vegas? 20%. Now, I stopped in Baker because there's a bitch in Electrify America install 12
and gyros. Let's be honest, the gyros are okay.
I had my
in Baker.
7-year-old who has an eating disorder.
Don't fuck with gyros.
He just wanted anything. It's horrible.
Oh,
Anyways,
it's a shame.
So my thing in Vegas is since every Uber Lyft driver has figured out it's cheaper to run an EV. Charging in Vegas is you know how bad it is to charge at public chargers in LA?
Yeah.
It's 7 billion times worse in Vegas. And I tried to do it one time, and everybody, because Vegas is way more cabs and Ubers than LA, it just can't happen.
Yeah.
And I was staying at Paris, and I looked, and I found a review of Paris from July. We went in September, and it was like, yeah, Paris has 2 EV chargers, and when I was there, one was broken. So I was like, all right, fuck that. So I charged in Baker, and I got to Vegas with 60% of the battery, and then I left and just went back to Baker. I got there with like I don't know, 30% and charged to 85, and it charges.
Okay, so
it
for you, for the
charges
new
so
Taycan,
fast.
it's a 3 charge, not a 4 charge.
2 charge.
2 charges. One on the way there.
Yeah, so I charged my house, which
one
I
of the
don't count.
2/3 of the way there, and then one of the 2/3 of the way back.
And I made it back to my house with like 29% of the
pretty
battery.
good.
And again, going 82.
And you can get a gyro while you're charging.
The gyros at the Mad Greek are fucking great.
They're all right.
So I was
They got
like,
cats
and
there,
then
too.
you know Kyle Connor, out of spec Kyle.
Unfortunately, I'm just kidding. I love Kyle.
No, Kyle's
I'm
great.
kidding.
Yeah,
I love
okay,
Kyle.
yeah, yeah.
Of course, I love
So he
Kyle.
just did a thing where he took like 9 EVs cross country. One of his crazy
Well, he
things.
just posted that the Taycan is the game over for the road
It
tripping.
charges so fast. So okay, I plug in. I take the kid inside the gas station Jersey Mike's thing. He's, like, what do you want? You want Doritos or Pringles? The only 2 things you'll fucking eat. By the time we got back to the car, charged to 85%.
That's awesome.
It was 16 minutes. And
That's awesome.
You don't think it takes that long, but with a 7-year-old, it took 16 minutes inside a convenience store. Stop touching the hats. Da-da. So it's like and props to our friends at Electrify America for having 12 chargers in Vegas or in Baker that work. It's only 12.
Electrify America actually has been doing a good job. The other charge companies have
EVgo
not.
has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah,
But
Electrify America has been all right.
They've gotten good.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, there's still, like when I had the electric G, now to be fair to Electrify America, not that fair, but to be a little fair.
Fair and balanced?
Not balanced.
Okay, just
fair.
fair. Okay.
It was a prototype G. It maybe wasn't in their system, but I tried to charge it at a public charger in Pasadena, and like it was the typical nothing, move chargers, nothing, call assholes. It's electricity. Everything I've ever plugged in my life except for Electrify America works.
Yeah.
Make it work. Okay, what's your number? A reset, and then it worked.
We had that issue on Performance EV of the Year with Euro spec Taycans.
And I think that
I think it's a pre-pro Euro spec thing.
So I didn't tell you this story. You'll like this story. So I got the electric G, and I'm looking at the dash, and I'm like, it's kind of weird. Like I know they're trying to make it an electric G, but like there's just no EV screens at all, and it's showing me gas stations, and it's showing me like a boost gauge. This is really strange. I thought they would have had some EV. Okay. So Rosh Hashanah, for the first time in 14 years of marriage, I'm in town for Rosh Hashanah. Usually I'm on an Audi press trip where, don't bread the don't bread the shrimp or whatever. That's another holiday. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's Passover. So my wife's like,
I'm good.
My wife's like, you're going to services. You've avoided it our entire marriage. You're going to services. High holidays. Okay. So I don't know if it was extreme Mercedes anti-Semitism or the ghost of my father being like, don't go to fucking services. I start going down the driveway, and within about 10 feet, I realize what my foot's doing and what the car's doing aren't connected.
Uh-oh.
Put it in park. Every single error message, including like, do not drive vehicle, tow to dealer.
Oh, no.
And I put it in reverse, and I take my foot off the brake, and it starts rolling down the hill.
Whoa.
And it rolls to where, you have to see where I live, but like I'm blocking all my cars and my neighbor's cars. So I get out of Rosh Hashanah. Thank you, Mercedes. Fucking great.
I would literally rather wait for a tow truck.
Oh, we had to. You're going to take an Uber to Rosh Hashanah? Come on. You were going to arrive in the Prius C? So I finally got a hold of Carl Heinz, who's like, oh, the piece of shit, lock it for 30 minutes, it'll be fine. Turned out, it's like a Gallardo versus an R8. Somebody didn't flip the switch to electric G, so it thought it was a G550.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they dropped off another one.
No way.
And it was fine. And it was like the screens that had an EV screen.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's got like a piggyback on it or something.
Do you remember that though? When like with the press cars, you could plug in a laptop and you could take your R8 and flick it to Gallardo.
It's funny. I haven't thought about that in a really long time, but you could.
I remember like one of the prep companies.
Yeah,
like,
they showed how to do that.
Well, they were like, "Do you want the Gallardo?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "You can't write about it. We'll get fired." And I'm like, "Okay." Whoever that was,
they flipped the switch,
and we thought it was a Gallardo.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
okay,
super fun.
All right, let's go back. Gabe Colston says a buddy of mine wants to spend $40 to $50K on a sports car. Should he get something like a Cayman used or a brand new Nissan Z?
Cayman.
Keeping
Next
in
question.
mind you would like to do future mods. I still say Cayman.
Cayman. Look, the Z, it just ain't what it needs to be.
Dude, how many current Gen Zs have you seen on the street?
One.
I've seen one.
Yeah.
Think we've all seen the same car?
So, you know what's funny was I was up on the crest on a weekday that wasn't Good Vibes Day, and there was a baby blue new M2 running around with two Nismo Zs, and then there's that one corner that Nissan always uses. It's one of the turnouts on Angeles Crest.
Yeah.
And there was like a bunch of Pathfinders and a bunch of Japanese guys standing there. And then when I was coming down, the two Zs and the M2 were pulled in.
So they're studying the M2.
They're studying the M2. And it was like a month after we said the M2 is our performance vehicle of the year. Coincidence? Probably, but, all right. And the Nismo Z was not even a finalist. So...
okay, I'm gonna skip a few because I want to go with the good ones. Sloppy Toppy 5000.
Yeah.
Johnny, my brother's getting married in December.
Hell yeah.
I want to get him a bottle.
Yeah.
It's bourbon, scotch, and whiskey.
Oh.
$500 to $600. What are we doing?
Okay, you're gonna call my buddy Ryan. I'm gonna. It's called Justin's House of Bourbon. They're in Louisville and Lexington. You're gonna call the one in Lexington, and you're gonna say, I'm looking for a guy named Ryan. And I'm a friend of Jonny Lieberman's, and I want to spend $600 on a bottle of bourbon. And Ryan will hook you up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you're going to do for that
Good
price.
move.
Because I could tell you what to get, but you may not be able to find it. But Ryan will hook you up. And Ryan, this is a very hard one to explain, but there was the Hirsch made some bourbon. It's a company called Hirsch. They were out of Pennsylvania, and they went under blah, 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 blah. Hirsch, 16 years, very well known in the bourbon geek community. Ryan, we went to visit him in Lexington. He had a bottle of 20-year in green glass. Well, why is that important? Because the original OG Pappy Van Winkles were in green glass because Julian Van Winkle bought a bunch of brandy bottles and put all his juice in there. So we were probably drinking like a $40,000 bottle of bourbon. He just let us finish it. And then we bought like a bunch of cheaper stuff. And he's the coolest guy in the world. So Ryan,
all right.
I think his name is Ryan Alves at Justin's House of Bourbon, or Justin's House of Spirits. I think it's bourbon. The Lexington one, I think, is where, I know it's where he works, but he might be at both, but that's what you do.
Okay, here's a big one. Davis W. says, what do you predict the future holds for young people getting into journalism and positions on social media? You both seem to have the idea it's getting harder and harder. Is the future bright or dark and gloomy for the next generation?
Boy,
I don't think it's dark and gloomy. I think here's the problem. We're in an age where we don't want to. I mean, maybe I can speak for you, maybe I can't. We're not interested in TikTok. We're not interested in what the next social media platform is. I'm not interested in platform chasing. And if the platforms move beyond me and us, so be it. I think if you are young and you embrace the latest platform, you can build an audience. You shouldn't try and embrace the old platform. You should embrace the new platform.
Okay, my take
Cars aren't getting better, which is a problem.
My take would be the rise of the influencer, and I'm probably guilty of somewhat being an influencer, but when you cut, and this is going to sound weird, but when you cut PR out of the equation, that means you're talking directly to marketing. And we can both say the Mustang Mach-E GT kind of blows. It was a misfire by Ford. Yeah. And we can move on with our lives. Influencers can't say that because they'll be punished for that.
Yeah.
And or their check won't clear.
So while I always have a hard time I call myself a car writer, automotive journalist. I'm not a fucking journalist. I'm not doing anything. A real journalist, they get killed for what they're doing. You know what I mean? They're enemies from within. I'm a car writer. But as weak as I am, that's the dark and gloomy part for me, is that you're just going to see marketers talking to basically employees.
Yeah.
And you really will lose the ability. Like, I don't know if I agree that cars are getting worse, but like, you'll just never see a negative thing about a car. And I worry about that. And PR people are putting themselves out of business.
Yeah, and it's not that cars are getting worse. It's that from our perspective, there are fewer and fewer cars that are affordably targeted towards enthusiasts. That's what I mean by cars are getting worse.
Totally fair point.
You know,
totally
like there are more supercars and more hypercars, but fewer affordable cars. And so,
and the ones that are affordable, like with the Nissan Z we're talking about, it's a rehash of a rehash. It's not what it should be, could be.
So that's a bigger problem.
Fair. Yeah.
And an influencer won't necessarily tell you that, whereas a journalist probably
will. Influencer won't tell you anything that the marketer didn't tell them to say becomes the issue.
Sure.
You know.
Christian says, "Is Matt faster than Johnny?" And wants a video to prove. I'd have a go. I'd have a go.
Yeah.
I'd have a go.
Here's the thing that is going to shock people. I don't fucking care. Like, if you're faster than me, here's what it'd be like. Oh, you're faster.
I don't either, but I think it would be a fun thing to do.
Let's do it.
We could probably go out to Thermal.
Let's do it.
And drive one of their club cars or get...
I'd rather do like Chuck Walla, but yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Whatever. We could probably have a go, and we could probably get some other people to come out too.
It'd be fun.
We could do a journalist showdown.
I remember many, many years ago, I was on the C63 Black Series launch, and it was like, who was there? It was like Camisa, it was like Sam Smith, it was a bunch of hot shoe journalists. And I remember, like, I wasn't the fastest guy, and for a second I was like upset, and I was like, who fucking cares? I'm like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I don't care in terms of like tenths.
Yeah.
If you're faster than me by 0.2 a lap, do I care? No.
Yeah.
If you're faster than me by 6 seconds a lap, well, I would question my ability to judge the dynamic characteristics of the car.
Yes and no, but like I think I can turn a fast lap, but then you put like, you know, Randy Popes, let's say, in a car, he will be 5 seconds quicker a lap, and that's the difference between somebody who pays to race. This is one of the best things Randy ever said. Somebody came up to us, we're hanging out somewhere, and he's like, "What do you think of Patrick Dempsey?" And Randy was like, as a driver, he's like, "Well, he pays to race. I get paid to race." And there's just a difference in somebody who is such a good driver, somebody pays them money to race a car, versus where if I go do World Racing League, it costs, there's money involved. I got to pay them to go race. Because So I don't think there would be a 6 second difference between us. I'd be curious. I would totally do it. I think it's a fun video.
I would do it.
Let's do it. And I don't care, like whatever the result. I raced
the same car on the same day as Sam Smith.
Okay.
And he was 0.2 faster than me.
That's nothing. That's
Mid-Ohio,
within the noise.
Which is, I agree, within the noise. Yeah. I think on most given days, he's probably that percentage faster.
He's also 100 pounds lighter than you.
By the way,
that's 0.2.
Oh, by the way, might be that.
Remember Fat Guy Karting League?
Yeah. It could be that. It totally could be that. And Sam is a great driver, and same with Travis. Travis also is a great driver.
Travis is a very good driver.
He's a very good driver, and he's the same couple of tenths quicker than me.
Sure.
Okay.
So, I was always like, with most journalists, I was right there. Like, Jethro is a race car driver.
He's very fast.
And he's way faster than me. He's done the Nürburgring 24 several times. He races with Bernd Schneider, and he's not far off Bernd's pace.
Yeah.
I'm not
Jethro's
that
fast.
Yeah, I'm not that. But
I'm the fastest guy at Road and Track unless Jethro can come.
Yeah. Jethro.
I did the lap times for Performance EV of the Year, and then for Performance Car of the Year, he could come.
Yeah. But you agree Jethro's like the next level.
Yeah, he's real fast.
He's really fucking fast.
Yeah, he's real fast.
Yeah.
But Jethro and he's real fast, but I pride myself on, if I can't keep up with him in tenths, which I can't, when he gets out of the car, and then when I get out of the car, I say, "Hey, did you feel this, this, and this?" And we agree on what we felt.
Yeah.
And so, okay, if he can push here where maybe I don't push quite as hard, but I felt the same thing with the car, I go, okay, I'm in the club. Whereas some other people go, the car did this, this, and this, and Jethro and I look at each other and we go, how did that sensation happened there.
You and I have always been pretty much lockstep about dynamically evaluating a car. We've had differences of opinions about other stuff, but like the way a sports car drives, we've always done. Jethro's my guy when I'm like, I think the car did this, and I find that 99.9 times out of 100, I agree with Jethro's assessment of a vehicle.
Yeah.
It's just whatever it is. And it's he's very fast, but he's also very good at evaluating a vehicle.
And there might be people like maybe Randy is this person, and there could be some other racing drivers where it's like they get beyond that maybe, and they go, well, it needs 2 clicks out of the left front shock, and you go, all right,
Randy could do that, but he's also, he's another one I generally agree. Like, Camisa's a guy where he'll be like, this is absolute shit. And I'm like, no, the Nismo GTR is a great car. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, so he and I have radical, sometimes, differences of opinions. And I'm never sure with him. It could be theater. You never know. But, like, with Jethro...
He didn't mind the Cybertruck bed design.
Very good example, yeah. But with Jethro, it's like, yeah, mate. I mean, my favorite Jethro story. So, when you have days where you're just driving well, just like, fuck, things are going great. So Jethro and I are doing a video. We had a Lambo Performante. And I'm driving, and Jethro says, mate, you ever thought about racing? And I'm like, yeah, I've considered it a time or two. Crash.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
That was the best day ever. But
I've had one of those.
But what was amazing was, it was like literally like, hey, Lambo, do you have another green Performante in L.A.? Oh, it's at Leno's? Great, we need it tomorrow. And he's like, what planet is this? I'm like, this is how it works, baby.
This is L.A.
This is L.A.
Welcome to the West Side.
Yeah, exactly.
Where there's always an extra car. At Leno's, where there's always an extra car.
Just renting his cars.
But what was great, if you watch the video, the seats on the car changed.
Oh, my God. That's a bad day.
Era. You know about the best continuity error of all time, right?
No.
I can't. I will never shut up about this.
Okay.
The greatest continuity error of all time. Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Passenger 57.
Okay.
In Passenger 57.
Always bet on black.
There is a cut.
Okay.
That is, I don't know the terminology for it, but I'll call it a 1-to-1 cut.
We call it star wipe.
Meaning, no, I wish it was a star wipe. Wesley Snipes leaves a location, gets in his car, which is a red Corvette, goes to another location, pulls up, parks, goes inside. The transition in between leaving the one location, going to the location, the Corvette changes generations.
Oh, that's good.
It becomes an 80. It changes from an 80s C4 to a 90s C4.
That's
from one shot to the next. It's not like this shit goes away and shows up 20 minutes later.
Just changes.
It's literally
just gets a new rear end.
One shot to the next.
I mean, I was always like, do you remember Pretty Woman? He rents a Lotus Elise.
Yeah, the Lotus. No, it's
Elise.
the Spree. Yeah, it's a Spree. Yeah.
At LAX, and he's trying to go to Beverly Hills, and he winds up in Echo Park at Burrito King, which is like, if you live in LA, you couldn't do that on accident.
In fairness, they didn't have GPS.
It
was on maps.
You couldn't
full maps.
You couldn't do it.
All right, hang on.
Yeah.
How about Bimobile says, it feels like there's perhaps another perhaps ongoing depression, exhaustion in the car media space. Do you feel this as well, and do you think it has more to do with the stagnation of cars, or most sort of general disappointments like the M5, Ferrari F80, etc.? Basically, is the fuel economization, etc., of cars a big point against?
Oh boy. Okay. Can I quickly try to long-windedly answer this? Okay.
Go on.
992.2. I look at these 3 cars he mentioned, and I see 3 different reasons why the question upsets me.
Okay.
Well,
let's start with the 992.2.
Yeah.
An incremental improvement on the existing GT3.
Yeah. I think this is a case where it's more of a price correction than it is like a new model. It's just sort of like they were selling it kind of for too cheap and now they're like, oh yeah, we should just add $40,000 and give them a back seat. They really didn't do a lot with this car, as what I can tell. You're getting into GTR levels of like, we've lowered the tire pressure stickers by 2 mil. You know, it's really like, what's changed? So yeah, that one, I don't know if it's exhaustion, but it's sort of like, what's new here? I think maybe with the GT3 RS, and maybe I know there's going to be a GT2 at some point. There'll be some radical different thing, but it's also like, the demand for this generation GT3 is so off the chart. Like, why change a fucking thing? It works. What do people want? A back seat. Boom. You're touring now as a back seat. You know. M5, everyone's sad about the weight. This happened with the M3, M4, but it was COVID. It was weird. Dieselgate fucked up the German car industry in terms of, like, we don't want to violate any laws. Volkswagen violated an American law. It cost them 87 billion euros. The M5 does not weigh 5,500 pounds. The EU law changed, and what it is they have to give the weight of the vehicle with 90% of the fuel, with a 70-kilogram passenger, with 15 kilograms of luggage, and 90. I already said that, and with all the most popular options, even if a car is never actually spec'd that way, just whatever, like, you have 5 possible radios, whatever the most popular radio is, that goes. So the weight is fake. Like when the 992.1 GT3 came out, if you remember, Porsche had to say it weighed 3,700 pounds. It turned out it weighed 3,350 when we weighed it. But legally speaking, because they had to add a passenger and luggage and options that the car will never have.
So they're getting closer to gross weight.
They're getting
curb
it's just
weight?
an EU law that the Germans are complying with. When we actually get to weigh the M5, they're saying it weighs 55 or 5,600 pounds. It'll weigh a lot. It'll be probably 51 or 5,200. Still too much, but it's way less than what they're saying. This happened. The M3, M4 actually gained 62 pounds over the previous generation. If you remember in 2021, people were freaking out because it was like, oh my God, BMW is saying it weighs 4,200 pounds. It was a 3,750-pound car. It's just a weird EU law. The Germans don't want to get fined by America, so they're announcing us these huge weights.
Well, okay, this is the first I'm hearing of that, and
talk to Frank at Porsche about it. He's very up on it.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, I would love to learn more about that.
It's a column I should have written years ago. I think I wrote it out on Instagram one time, but I should have made it a column.
Yeah, you should.
I should. I got stuff going on.
We talked about the Ferrari F80 last week.
Like it won Le Mans. Like Cadillac put a big fat V8 in their hybrid car, and Ferrari beat it twice. Like.
I don't actually give a shit.
Oh, I think it's cool.
No, I don't care.
I think it's cool. Have you read the specs on that engine?
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't sound good. I don't give a shit.
I care.
I don't care.
I care.
I don't need to win that race. So I don't need the engine that won that race.
No, but I look at it differently. I look at like when the
what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to drive this car for 3 hours on a Sunday. I need a thing that's going to give me a boner.
No, well,
and this does not give me any boners.
Here's the thing.
There's no boners.
Think back, and
Johnny,
boners.
boners.
You might be too young. Technical boner.
I might be too young. I can't fucking wait to hear this.
When the 959 came out,
Aren't you guys the same age?
No, I'm 49. He's like 41.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
42.
Whatever. You're like
Fine.
41.
Yeah, we're obviously hugely different.
You don't remember when the 959 dropped because it was a moment in time.
I don't. I was managing boners.
Yeah.
Just one thing I'm not managing
No,
now.
you weren't. It dropped in 86, 87. If you were having boners at that age.
I was very mature.
I had boners. I was 12. You were 7 years younger. But
I'm clipping this part too.
So I look at the F80 like the 959, where it's like it's a 3-liter motor that puts out 900 horsepower. That's fucking insane. That is such cool tech. I want that. I love that.
Okay.
Like my little Corolla, which is a 1.6 liter that puts out 100 horsepower per cylinder. That's rad. There's lots of Ferraris as V12s. They have one called the 12-cylinder. You can go buy it. It's totally cool.
You should, actually. It's probably better.
I would say this, though. 288 GTO was a Group B car because at the time it was twin-turbo V8 was allowed in Group B, 2.9 liter. It was the F40 that everyone loves was just a 288 with a body kit. F50 at the time, they were racing V12s and F1. It had a V12. LaFerrari at the time was hybrid V12, and now this is what their race car is. It totally makes sense. I think
it does make sense. It just doesn't sound good.
I don't care. I want to drive it before I judge it. I don't want to ever just like, oh, I don't like the sound. Like, you know,
I do. I want to drive it too. I demand to be invited to drive it.
I also demand.
Otherwise, I'm going to judge. I have to judge it without
Ferrari,
driving
it. I will stop defending you.
I demand to drive it.
I feel strongly that in car enthusiasm, because of social media and the internet and the constant bombardment of new cars, I think enthusiasm to a large degree has been replaced by orthodoxy and dogma. And so if a car isn't what somebody expected it to be, it's hated. People expected this to be a V12. Ferrari went with the V6 that's in their car that's winning Le Mans, and it was in their F1 cars. And great. I think it's fucking great.
That's cool. I think there's a difference between what a car needs to win a race and what a car needs to be engaging on the street.
But I think 1,200 horsepower fucking Ferrari is going to be engaging on the street.
I don't think there's anything a 1,200 horsepower car will do on the street that a 700 horsepower car won't do on the street.
I don't know. Well, I'm into 2,000 horsepower
I just drove an F8
cars.
today.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, F8's not a great car, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But I had driven a 296.
296 is a great car.
Yeah.
Same engine as the F80.
Yeah.
Same engine. Just the F80 makes, instead of making 700 and whatever horsepower, makes 900. And then you have the three motors.
Yeah, what I was going to say was that the F8 Tributo felt much better on the street.
Than the 296?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It sounded better. It was a more enjoyable experience, for sure.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
I love the 296.
And I shat on the F8 because I thought it was a janky-ass update to the to the 488. Yeah, it is. But because of that the 8-cylinder, what a delight. What a treat.
But the 296 is like the best car. Like,
but not like going around. It's the best car. Like, you want to go to track day, okay, whatever.
Canyons.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that good. It doesn't sound that good. It doesn't feel like it. It's very fast. It's very fast.
But I think if we're
super fast.
But if we're at a point,
not only fast, it drives great.
But if we're at a point where there are other cars that also drive great that sound better, then you get to choose.
This whole sound thing, man, and I'm probably guilty for pushing this, but like, go drive like a 96 Diablo SV V12. It's quiet. Didn't make any noise. Sound was this found thing where cars suddenly got loud. Like,
I mean, the SVR we drove was loud as shit.
Yeah, it was great.
SVR.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
About 7 people watched the video.
Yeah.
One of the worst videos we've ever made.
I didn't watch it either, but I like
no one did.
SVR.
No one did. It's terrible.
What I'm saying, sound is this new hill to die upon. Whereas, like, I think the 296 it sounds like a trumpet. It's fine.
Look, you've got certain companies like Pagani.
Yeah.
Right? Pagani, manual transmission, V12 engines, very light.
They're smart.
Very advanced.
Making 99 cars.
Driving cars.
99 cars.
Building cars that their customers want to drive.
99 people that'll spend $3.5 million. There's not 100, or they'd build 100.
Yeah, it's got to be 99.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not for me. I don't give a fuck. I don't.
Do you know Christian Gephardt for Auto Build? He's the Nürburgring specialist. He's always doing. Yeah. So he drove the new GT3 RS, and he was like, greatest production car in the world. And I was like, I could think of a better one. And then we were like messaging, and it was like 296. Yeah, 296. Like 296 fucking rips. It's such a good car.
Unless you have to drive to Century City at 5 o'clock, in which case it's the worst car ever.
Why? Why the worst car ever?
The interfaces are so bad.
Oh, don't look at the interfaces. Yeah, it's all terrible. It's all terrible.
You need them. You cannot operate the car without interfaces. You need them.
The car's so wonderful I can overlook all that.
I cannot.
Really?
Oh, I cannot.
And you get that when you turn it on, it shows the big blue Ferrari spinning.
Can you overlook an interface?
I just think it could be a lot better, and I'm surprised they did that bad with such a big company.
Yeah, I can't overlook an interface.
I mean, McLaren's interface is better.
That these chairs hurt your balls after 2 hours?
No.
Go AC Slater, dude. Let's go AC Slater. Come on.
Well, that's more ball pressure.
AC Slater, dude.
I don't know what that means.
This way. This way.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to pull my...
No, this is how you do it. You don't even know. This is delight.
But you know what I mean?
It's a real treat.
Your balls don't ache?
No.
Okay. Oh yeah.
No,
better.
Look, you get a downward angle on your ball.
Much
It's all
better.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. AC Slater's all right.
I was just sitting here. Matt's yelling at me about interface. I'm like, my balls hurt.
Yeah.
Your balls are they're
Glad
afraid.
we-
It's not from
I
Matt
hope we've
yelling.
solved
It's
that
not
problem.
from Matt yelling.
Hold up. Pugs and Porsches says, Johnny, I want a used electric car to keep on a charger at my vacation house.
Yeah.
Which EVs have batteries that can be managed remotely and which are best at it?
I would say that what you want to do is get one where you can set the charge to 50%, and it just keep it charged at 50%, and that is like 30 to 50% is the sweet spot where you're not doing any damage to the battery. You can keep it at 30 to 50%. It'll last forever at that temperature. At that state of charge. And I was going to say, if the temperature goes way up or way down, that's not good, but that's any used EV where you can say only keep it plugged in at 50%.
Yeah.
And this is from Kyle Connor, but it'll just last forever.
Yeah, when we have long-term storage, we set the charge limit here as well.
Just
I have an
low-
exciting announcement.
Yeah.
We have surpassed Scotto's podcast time by 2 minutes at this point.
Yes.
Scotto's
Brian.
last appearance here was 2:31.
Are we past that?
We are at 2:34.
I thought we were like an hour
12.
and 45.
All right, no, we're going. All right, 10 more minutes and then we're done. Michael Cosgrove says, is Johnny for or against Elon's deception of remotely controlled robots masquerading as autonomous at the recent Tesla publicity event?
Michael, first of all, Cosgrove is one of my favorite names. I don't care about
think
the
he's
robots.
more
I think it's so weird that a car company is... And also it's weird that Hyundai's doing the Boston Robotics thing. I don't get it. The only thing car companies can do that aren't cars that I think is cool is the electric helicopters. I'm sort of into those because I want to be able to go to Long Beach in 5 minutes from downtown LA. Robots, I don't give a fuck.
Zach flew one in. I don't think it's happening.
I think it's happening in
will
some
just say
places.
this,
It
though.
is. I don't think the individual thing is happening,
No,
but I think
the taxi
the
ones.
taxi ones will
It's
definitely exist. Yeah.
But I will just say this: the fact that everybody didn't say those robots are being controlled by a remote control operator is just bad
It's
journalism.
negligent.
And also, two-seat taxis? Have you never lived in New York, you fucking assholes? Like,
That was crazy.
also, did you hear Blade Runner is suing them? Whoever they asked the day before, hey, can we have the rights to Blade Runner?
These people think we are all stupid.
It's such
They
just
think
shit.
everyone
It's
is
such
stupid.
shit.
What's unfortunate is they're right, is that people are stupid.
And nobody cares. And yeah, it's
So crazy.
I guess we should just start a car company and do shit like this.
We just scam people.
Just
And
scam
you can
them.
apparently just
Give me
say that
$250,000
shit's
deposit.
coming.
Look, this was a big story from, was this today, yesterday, the earnings thing?
Oh, yeah.
Like, Elon admitted that Tesla's HW3 computer might not support full self-driving.
I mean,
Oh,
duh.
so you're saying you were running a scam the whole time? Like,
Again, if you like in 2017, Tesla took a bunch of $250,000 deposits for the fucking Roadster. I'm sorry, it's almost 2025. The class action, fuck you.
the car does not
Give me
exist.
my money. Give me my
Yeah,
money.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's crazy. Go back, Zach. Let's see what else we got. 'cause we got I like this. I like Aiden's question. Johnny
real
says.
quick, Tim A, real fast. Yes.
Tim A said, "Does it feel like BMW's 7 Series has
100%.
surpassed the
100%.
S Class?"
For the first time ever, I think it's inarguable that the 7 Series is better than the current S Class. Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
I haven't driven either, so I'm not even going to argue.
It
Aiden says,
rules.
Johnny, it's well documented your preference of EVs over hybrids, and you've called hybrids the worst of both worlds.
He's wrong. I've called plug-in hybrids the worst. Hybrids are fine. Plug-in hybrids.
What is your opinion of... This is a weird question, actually. What is your opinion of EVs with gas range extenders?
Those are called E-revs.
Those are called... Are those not plug-in hybrids?
So there's plug-in hybrids and then there's E-revs. So in other words, a plug-in hybrid, when the battery dies, the engine powers the wheels. An E-rev, so the new Ram E-rev, it's called. When the
It's a generator.
It's a generator that
like
powers
the
the
i3.
battery. Yeah,
Right.
it's an i3 or a Volt, which the Volt
Yeah, it's
was
a
able-
Volt.
Yeah, but the Volt was also able to connect the motor directly to the wheels.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I just think EVs have gotten so good. All this stuff is stupid. Like, stop beating around the bush. Just go full EV. That's my opinion. And again, I've swallowed the Kool-Aid. I pay Rivian every month because I'm a fucking idiot. They should be paying me, but like, just get a fucking Rivian. You'll be so happy. You'll just be like, why would I have any other car? It's come to that.
Right.
I hate saying it. I'm a little drunk, but like, fuck. Like, I took my 7-year-old in the Rivian this morning, and I was like, hey kid, look at the costumes the car could have.
I saw that. It looks fun.
It's rad, and you can sit there and you can in this trunk or treat. There's like 8 or 10 different like scary monster noises.
You don't need an EV to do that though.
Oh, you need a software-defined vehicle to do that.
But not. It doesn't need to be fully electric.
But no one else can do over-the-air updates like the way a software-defined vehicle can do that.
But it doesn't need to be fully electric
Yeah, but why
to do
fuck around
that.
with gasoline? Who needs it?
I'm just saying that the example that you've shown does not require full gasoline.
Except for show me
Don't
one
you like
that
the
does.
296? It's gas powered.
I love
but
the
it doesn't.
296. But I would say the 296 with 818 horsepower is 17 horsepower less than my truck. You know,
I
they're
like
obviously very different
EVs
vehicles.
for what they are. Mm-hmm. I'm pro hybrids because I think it will get more people electrified that cannot necessarily charge reliably at home or at work.
Two things I'll say to that. One is we need legislation in this country that says people who live in apartments have the right to install a charger. Mm-hmm. I was in Norway. My buddy had a Model 3. We went to his apartment, and he parked in his spot, and there was a box on the wall, and he got out, and he took his cable out of the trunk, and he plugged it in to the wall in the car, and that's just... And it totally works.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's actually
Fucking
fine.
whack the camera.
Nice.
It totally works. I think we need legislation to allow for that because I know so many people that live in apartments that are like, I'd love to get an EV. My fucking landlord won't let me install a charger.
Yeah, that's why we didn't get one.
Yeah. And then the other thing...
You put one in your new garage, Zach?
I'd have to ask.
That?
I'd have to find out.
That would be interesting if they let you do that.
It's got 110 outlets, but I have to, jump it up a bit.
That won't help.
And then the other thing I would say is EVs outsell plug-in hybrids already. Plug-in hybrids are supposed to be a bridge technology to full EV. So if EVs are already outselling plug-in hybrids, fuck them because it's stupid. It's like imagine having a steam car and a gas car in one. Like just pick one.
I don't like your comparison there.
It's a great comparison.
I like the plug-in system because I like Toyota's theory where if you take X amount of lithium and chop it into 10 pieces and you can hybridize 10 cars.
That's fucked up because then you're still putting out carbon dioxide. And we look at western North Carolina, which got destroyed by a hurricane for the first time in history.
I don't think that's necessarily
from
one.
carbon
That is
dioxide.
wildly speculative because what if...
I don't think that is
if all those owners live in the city and they have a small battery that they plug in...
If they plug in, you're going to regulate behavior? You have
regulating
to plug
behavior.
your hybrid in.
I'm saying if someone owns a house... That is not at all what I said.
No, but I'm saying, how are you going to guarantee they plug in?
Because if people like the convenience, which is what you're suggesting, people love the EV convenience, right?
I'm not saying
so
that.
if you have
I'm
home...
not saying that at all. I never said that. I'm saying that EVs just fuck plug-in hybrids. Like skip the step. Just go right to EV.
I'm just saying if precious minerals or rare minerals are rare and we can use X amount to make more hybrid
they're
systems
not rare.
and then get the air out of the way.
Lithium is like what number 7 on the periodic table. Cobalt's like number 14. You've eaten cobalt today, by the way. Cobalt's in strawberries.
Right. We discussed this last time, though, that the water usage to get some of those minerals out of the ground is
what about
really
the water
aggressive.
usage to get oil out of the ground? I mean, come on. Like
we literally covered this mathematically last time.
I think we were here already.
I'm with you that getting people off gas is a good idea. I totally agree with that.
Because you have to pump gas forever. With lithium, it's a one-time shot. And the Toyota thing's bullshit. By the way, Toyota's working rapidly on EVs because they want to be
I think the market
competitive.
went that direction.
They want to be globally
The government went that direction, too.
Well, yeah, but
that's true,
also like
mandates,
America's become this backwater car market where like we still have gas engines where the entire rest of the world is like, well, fuck that. Like, why would you have this complex thing with 1 billion parts when you can have one moving part?
That's true.
I don't think the entire rest of the world has that. I think China does and some other
They're
a few
getting
other
there.
places.
The rest of the world's going to get there fast because China's going to start dumping cheap EVs on the rest of the world. They're already doing it in Southern Europe. I mean, it's coming quick.
Yeah, the cost, the price of a BYD is crazy low. It's like $12,000.
There's a whole bunch. There's over 100 Chinese car companies that can use relative slave labor to make really cheap EVs.
Right.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I definitely am pro slave labor to make cheap EVs, 100%.
I'm not.
Sounds great. All of this sounds really good.
Oh, I'm not that at all.
I mean, it does. It sounds really good.
I'm saying we've given the choice to plug in an EV. Just get the EV. Like it's like, why are you fucking around dragging around a gas engine? Like it's crazy.
Don't think that somebody that doesn't have a charger at home.
And that's why I said 2 parts. We need legislation that says just like you have the right to heating and soon in LA at least air conditioning, you have the right to charge your car. You have to have that right at home.
I'm believing that.
Yeah.
I'm pro that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. But
No,
we need that.
They passed legislation. You can't do new homes, single-family homes in California without solar panels.
Yeah.
Well, that same legislative body could say, hey, if you live in an apartment, you have the right, if you'll pay for it, to install a charger.
Yeah, I'm about it. Let's end there.
Okay.
I like it.
We can end on a crazier one. What drives better, Testarossa or Countach? Testarossa.
All right, fine. Let's end on Darian Lux. What drives better, a Testarossa and a Countach?
I would say I've driven a 512R and a Countach. 512R fucking shits all over a Countach. However, I would take a Countach. I like it.
I have driven both.
Yeah.
And I think the Testarossa is objectively the better car.
Objectively better.
I think they drive better.
Subjectively.
I think they're built better.
Oh, yeah. Subjectively, it's a fucking Countach.
It's not even close. Not even close.
I just want a Countach.
Testarossa is a fantastic vintage Ferrari.
Countach
is game over. It's a game over car.
I tend to not be jealous. Like a lot of my friends, look, I hang out with like Zuckerman every week.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just not jealous. Like I like the guy.
If you were, it'd be very tough to hang out with him.
He's so rich. But I am jealous of your Countach. And I don't care about anything else about you. But I'm like,
yeah,
he's got a fucking red Countach with a wing and gold wheels.
It's the only thing about my life that you should be jealous of.
I'm so jealous of it. And I know it's in 30,000 pieces.
Yeah.
I'm still jealous.
Even then.
Fuck it.
A disassembled Countach is better than no Countach.
Yep. Dude, the Countach is... And again, it's just... I don't know. I'll never get over it.
You know what I love about a Countach is it's on its own merits, existing in the world, it makes you respect it. You look at it, you fucking go, that's a crazy car. But then to own one... There's nothing easy about owning one.
No, how could it be?
It makes you work. You have to work to own one.
Look, I'm sure I've told this story 30 times on this show, but like I was 9 years old. My dad, he's from Montreal, took me to Montreal. We're wandering around Old Town. There's an orange, this would have been like 1982 or 3. There's an orange Countach sitting on the dark gray cobblestone streets of Old Montreal. And it scrambled my brain. And my dad was into cars enough that he let me stand there for 30 minutes and just stare at a car, like jaw on the ground. You know how like little kids get around supercars?
Yeah.
But back then, remember, in 82, 83, they'd probably built globally 400 or 500 Countaches.
Maybe. Probably not.
Because they made 589.
Yeah.
And it was a 15-year model run.
Yeah.
So, like... They just didn't exist, and there was no internet.
There's about 1,400 built from 74 to 88.
Yeah, 89.
89.
The 25th anniversary. There's 500 25th anniversaries.
No, but including 25th anniversaries, there's 2,100.
Oh, is that what it is?
2,100 total.
Okay. Yeah,
74 to 91.
So 82, 83.
Yeah. Super rare.
Orange, a ratio sitting on dark cobblestone street. Like it was just like a fucking spaceship had fallen, and I'm looking at alien technology that I didn't know if I'd seen it in a magazine. I don't know if I was reading magazines. I just never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And I go back to that moment constantly. Like, why do you like cars? Why do you do what you do? It's like, because I want to recapture that moment of just...
Yeah.
And the impossible, like, curved triangles of the Countach doesn't make any sense. It's so fucking perfect.
I haven't seen that yet in modern cars, even though some of them are crazy. Even though we drove Pagani, I just haven't.
The closest I felt ever, I think it was like 2018 at the Geneva show when the Valkyrie was sitting there.
Sure.
And I was like, what in the fuck?
Yeah.
But maybe because now the cycle's so fast, we get get hit with so many cars so quickly. Like, since the Valkyrie, there's Victor, Valor, Vengeance, Virginal, Vagina, whatever. You know what I mean? Acid can't stop making cars. And... You know what I mean? Like, whoa, go back to Valkyrie. calm down.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the McLaren issue.
Yeah,
It's like, wait, what? They made a 675, 720, 750, 765. Elva.
The same 200 people buy all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that Countach, like, and especially if you go back, I always say this, like in '83, Motor Trend named the Renault Alliance our car of the year, and everyone gives a shit about it. I went back and found the article. Well, guess what it was up against? It was, I can't remember the model name, but it was a Mercury from 1983.
Yeah, real terrible shit.
It was like a Pontiac from 1983. Like, you're telling me the Pontiac was so much better?
Yeah.
And so there wasn't a lot going on in 1983 in the car world, except for the Countach.
Yeah.
And it was before the Testarossa. Like, it was still Daytona.
Yeah, at the time that most cars were boring as shit. This thing was crazy.
Just the craziest. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Habibi, thank you for coming.
It was great.
The Inevitable Podcast, Motor Trend,
Spike's
of course,
Car Radio.
Spike's Car Radio, Jonny Lieberman Instagram. There we go. We've had the Middleton 2019. It was fantastic. We had the Bunnahabhain. Fantastic. We had
the Pinhook.
The Pinhook 5-year, not bad at all.
I think I brought you this one.
You probably did.
This is a big mother. Oh no, this is 52%. It's not that strong.
Well, it's pretty good.
I just need
for a
food.
year. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all need food. That's how we're doing. Thank you for listening. Y'all are the fucking best. Get on the Patreon, patreon.com/the Smoking Tire Podcast. When the ad model collapses, that's all that's going to be left. Let's fucking go, people. Johnny in the house. I'm about it. L'chaim, brother.
L'chaim, brother.
Good to see you.
Good,
that's
good.
our show. We beat the record.
Beat the record.
Scotto, it's on you, baby. Let's go.
I love it.